बिकॉज फर्स्ट चैप्टर में थोड़ा सा कुछ तो है, ये इसका वॉल्यूम कम कर सकता है। वाह, इस पे दिखाएंगे आप। ओम अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जना शलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातां सगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवम् साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी निति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna, so welcome everyone. We are continuing our discussion from Srimad Bhagvatam. We are starting 5th canto today. So this 4th canto ended with the discussion of Maitreya Muni and Vidurji, and then Maitreya Muni went to Haridwar, and Vidurji came back to Hastinapur because he was remembering that so many kings I have heard, they have all given up their family, they have taken to pure devotional service. There is one king who is still remaining. Let me help him also. And that king was Dhritarashtra. So just to benefit Dhritarashtra, Vidurji comes back. So that's where the 4th canto ended. Sorry? Srimad Goswami Parishad discussion was going on. Which topic is got diverted to Matramuni and physical? Good question. ये आया कैसे उद्धव मैत्रेय संवाद? Because in the 2nd canto, 8th chapter, Parikshit Maharaj asked many questions. The entire chapter was questions by Maharaj Parikshit. So some questions he explained by describing the universal form and the creation. And then, as Parikshit Maharaj, as Shukdev Goswami was about to describe about the creation more, he was about to describe Padma Kalpa. Padma Kalpa means the first Kalpa, the day 1 of Brahma. So as he was about to begin it, Parikshit Maharaj, he said, can you please tell me one more thing? You told that Vidurji went because Vidurji came back from a pilgrimage and then he met all the relatives in Hastinapur. Can you please tell me where all he went? Why he left? So Parikshit Maharaj also थोड़ा सा technical सुन के थोड़ा से. So then Parikshit Maharaj said, Shukdev Goswami said, actually, that's how Shukdev Goswami started the description of Maitreya Vidur Samvad. So that's the continuation of 3rd canto and the 4th canto. And why he started that discussion? Because many of the questions which Parikshit Maharaj asked, they were asked by Vidurji to Maitreya also. So he is giving a reference to this Samvad because the questions were similar. So that's how this discussion started. Okay, so but Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, as he does in the beginning of every canto, in the commentary of the first verse of the 5th canto, 1st chapter, he says, offering respects to Guru and Krishna, the ocean of mercy, I take shelter of Sri Shukadev, the eye for the universe and the master of the worlds. I offer myself and everything I possess to Krishna, the life of the gopis, the controller for the service to his dear devotees. So that's how Shukadeva Goswami begins this. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur writes commentary. He begins this commentary on the fifth canto. So this fifth canto has 29 chapters. 29, right? 26 chapters, sorry. Out of those, the first three chapters, they describe the story of Priyavrat Maharaj, then the son of Priyavrat, that is Agnidhra, and the son of Agnidhra is Nabhi. The Nabhi's son is the avatar of the Lord, that is Rishabdev. So then three chapters, they describe the story of Rishabdev. And then further 8 chapters describe the story of Bharat Maharaj. Rishabdev becomes, Rishabdev's son becomes the king, Bharat, and then how he ruled, then he renounced, then the whole story of King Bharat becoming a deer, and then Jad Bharat and all that. And then the further story of the descendants of Bharat Maharaj starts. So one chapter describes the story of the descendants, and then from 16th chapter onwards, the cosmology starts, the technical part of the universe of this Bhagavatam. So as we know that Bhagavatam has 10 topics. What are the 10 topics of Bhagavatam? Sarga, Visarga, Dhanam, Oshana, Utaya, Manvantara, Ishanugata, Nirodha, Mukti, Ashraya. So this fifth canto describes the sthana, where the demigods and the devtas they reside, and how the protection is provided to all the living entities. So this discussion started in the third canto where Vidurji asked about Swayambhu Manu's dynasty. Because when Swayambhu Manu was born, then he married to Shatrupa, and then the dynasty began. So there Vidurji had asked that, can you please tell me about the dynasty of Swayambhu Manu? Because he is Vishwaksen Ashrayo Hi Asau. He is a great devotee of the Lord who is surrendered to Lord. Can you please tell me about his dynasty? So then the third canto remaining chapters, that is in 13th chapter, third canto, 13th chapter, this question was asked. So then Maitreya Muni starts the description of the dynasty of Swayambhu Manu. Swayambhu Manu had how many children? Three daughters and 2 sons. So he starts the description of Devahuti first. And then the whole story of Devahuti and Kardam, and then Kapiladev, then Kapila Devahuti Samvad, that comes in the third canto. And then in the fourth canto, he describes the dynasty of the remaining daughters, Akuti and Prasuti. And then he started describing the dynasty of Uttanpad. He didn't start with Priyavrat, although he was the elder one, because he was eager to describe the story of Dhruva. So that's how he started the story of Uttanpad, then Suniti, Suruchi, and then the whole story of Dhruva comes. Then Dhruva's one of the descendants is Prithu Maharaj. And Narad and this Maitreya Muni said that Narad Muni described the story of Dhruva in the assembly of Prachetas. Oh, can you please tell me who are these Prachetas? So then the story of the dynasty of Dhruva started. So there he described about Anga, then Vena, and then Prithu, and then Prithu ke baad in further dynasty came Prachina Barhi, and then Prachetas. And that's how the chapter ended. So now we are in fifth canto. We'll start with the fifth canto, first chapter, first verse. And why I've started this? Because in this discussion, something technical comes up. So I'll not start this now itself. I'll start the cosmology after maybe 1 hour or so. So just start the regular Bhagavatam ka first verse. Should I display here? Is it okay, na? Yeah. Okay, display for me.
Which one is easy for you?
कैसे डिस्प्ले करूं? Because I have to share it on the Zoom also.
No, you keep it in there.
We will see. Yes. Because it will be easy for me. Okay, we'll start with the first verse. Raja Vacha Priyavrato Bhagavat Atma Rama
प्रियव्रतो भागवतम् आत्मा रामा कथम्
Karma
Parikshit inquired from Sukadeva Goswami, O great sage, why did King Priyavrata, who was a great self-raised devotee of the Lord, remain in household life, which is the root cause of the bondage of karma, spiritual activities, and which defeats the mission of human life?
So why he's asking this question? Because Shukdev Goswami told Priyavrat he was renounced, then he accepted family life. So Parikshit was surprised. Why he accepted family life? Priyavrata Bhagavata, he is a great devotee of the Lord. Atmaram, he is a self-realized soul. Then why such a great self-realized king, devotee of the Lord, Grihe Aramat Ayan Mula? Why he enjoyed family life? Because this family life has two problems. Karma bandha. It is the root cause of bondage of karma. Yan mula. This is the root of karma bandha. And second is parabhava. It defeats the purpose of life. So why Priyavrata entered family life? So Prabhupada writes, in the middle of the purport, Prabhupada writes, first paragraph. One may argue, why is it wrong to enjoy household life? The reply is that in household life, one becomes bound by the fruitive activities. The essence of household life is sense enjoyment, and as long as one engrosses his mind in working for sense enjoyment, one is bound by the reactions of fruitive activities. And therefore, the ultimate end is parabhava. One is defeated. Parabhava. Last paragraph Prabhupada writes. The word parabhava is significant. As Rishabdev in his instructions to his 100 sons, he says, Parabhavastavad jato yavan jigyasata atma tattvam. Living entities are born defeated. Parabhava abodh jata. ऐसा नहीं बाद में defeat हो. They have taken birth means they are born defeated only. They have tried to enjoy so far, but they have not become successful, so another birth. So anybody who has taken birth means defeated. Parabhav. When one is satisfied in family life, he is doomed because he must already have forgotten his relation with the Lord. Hitvatam patam griham andhakupam. So Priyavrat, he is not the case where he wanted to run away from the austerities. He was already doing practicing austere, brahmachari life. So why he entered family life? So that was the main concern and question of Parikshit Maharaj. So, this entire story of Priyavrat is an example that the ashram doesn't matter. Wherever one may be, one can practice Krishna consciousness. Griye thako, vane thako, sada haripur. So ashram is secondary. Krishna consciousness is the primary symptom. So, yeah. So when Vidurji, he returns to, when Vidurji returns in first Canto 13th chapter, so Yudhishthir, he asks about the welfare of the Yadus. He asks about everyone. And Vidurji, he was such a great renunciant. And Yudhishthir is such a great king. And Yadus were all associates of the Lord. So we can understand they were all in different situations. Vidur, renunciant. Yudhishthir, king. Yadus, associates of the Lord. But still they are all great devotees. So the externals doesn't matter when it comes to Krishna consciousness. So Prabhupada writes in this paragraph, in this, the first paragraph, the human form of life is specially meant for getting out of the bondage of fruitive activities. As long as one is forgetful of life's mission and acts like ordinary animal, he must continue his conditional life. And such life is called as Swarupa Vismriti, forgetfulness of one's real constitutional position. As second canto describes, Mukti Hitva Anyatha Rupam Swarupena Vyavasthiti. When one is situated in his constitutional position, that is Mukti. So Priyavrata, he was Mahabhagavata, he was Atmaram, he was self-satisfied. So Prabhupada writes, Bhagavat Atmaram is very significant. If one is self-satisfied, as is the Supreme Lord, he is called Bhagavat Atmaram. Atmaram may be many types. The four Kumaras are also Atmaram. The Brahmavadis are also Atmaram. Atmaramascha Munayo Nirgrantha Piyurukrame. So the Brahmavadis are also Atmaram, but who is Bhagavat Atmaram? A devotee of the Lord is Bhagavat Atmaram. There are different types of satisfactions. So different people, they seek satisfaction in different things. Karmis, their satisfaction is engage in fruitive activities. For the Jnanis, their satisfaction is merging in Brahman. For the yogis, their satisfaction is mystic siddhis and ultimately Brahman. For devotees, their satisfaction is serving the Lord. So Parikshit Maharaj is asking this question. Why he engaged in household life again? Okay, next verse. Nanunam mukta sangana
Nanunam mukta sangana
tadrishanam dijarshava griheshu abhinivesoyam pumsam bhavitum arhati.
Devotees are particularly devotees are certainly liberated persons. Therefore, O greatest of the Brahmanas, they cannot possibly be absorbed in family affairs.
So now he is justifying his question. Now why I am asking this question? Because Nanunam mukta sangana, devotees are certainly liberated. So therefore, O Dvijarshabha, O greatest of the Brahmanas, griheshu abhinivesh. Abhinivesh means entering into family life. It creates attachment. Griheshu abhinivesh means when one becomes attached to family life, pumsam bhavitum arhati. So it is not possible for devotees to enter into family life because family life means attachment. So why Priyavrat was liberated? Why he entered family life? That was the question. Bhagwan writes, Bhaktyaham ekaya grahyah. Only by executing devotional service one can appreciate me. Bhaktya mam avijanati. Thus, for a bhakta to become attached to family affairs is impossible, since a bhakta and his associates are liberated. So it is that's the cause of great astonishment for Parikshit. How can Priyavrat enter family life? Attachment for family affairs and devotional service are incompatible. So Mukta Sangha and Abhinivesh, they are completely contrary. Either you are liberated or you are attached. You can't be both. So Parikshit Maharaj is thinking family life means attachment has to come. How is it that he entered family life and then you are saying he is liberated also? This looks contradictory. He continues. Mahatam khalu viprashe uttama shloka padayo chaya nirvitanam
Elevated Mahatmas who have taken shelter of the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead are fully satiated by the shade of those lotus feet. Their consciousness cannot possibly become attached to family members.
Okay. Mahatam khalu viprashe, the elevated Mahatmas, those who have Uttama Shloka Padayo, they have taken shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord. Chaya Nirvrit Chitta, they are fully satiated by the shade of the lotus feet of the Lord. Chaya Nirvrit, the shade of the lotus feet of the Lord completely satisfies a devotee. So therefore, such devotees na kutumbe spriha, they never desire household life. So why Parikshit, why Priyavrata entered family life? Again and again he is justifying his question. This is a great astonishment for me. Chakravarti Thakur writes. The reason is that they're attached to the Lord. And if somebody is attached to the Lord, they cannot be attached to anything of this world. So how can Priyavrata enter family life? Nitaya Pada Kamala Koti Chandra Shushitala Ye Chayaya Jagat Chudaya. Prabhupada quotes that. The shade of the lotus feet of Lord Nityananda is so nice and cooling that it gives that those who are always in blazing fire of material activities may come under the shade of his feet and becomes fully relieved. So devotees are always absorbed and they have taken shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord. So how can they be absorbed in family life? That is natural. Vasudevi Bhagavati Bhakti Yoga Prayogita Janayati Ashu. It has to come. Vairagya has to come. So how can he enter family life? Putra Batul Hoila Yaharaka Bandhiya. Raghunathas Goswami is running away every day. So mother is telling to father, बांध के रखो बेचारा बेटा भाग रहा है पुत्र बातुल होइला पागल हो गया. And father says, इंद्र समाईश्वरे स्त्री अप्सरासम यही सब बांधी के नारे लेके आ रमन. He has wealth of Indra. He has beautiful wife like Apsara. If all these things cannot bind him, how can rope bind him? Krishna Pada Padma Gandha Ejana Pai Brahmaloka Adi Sukha Tare Nahi Bhai. Anybody who has smelled the fragrance of the lotus feet of Krishna, who is under the shade of Krishna's lotus feet, nothing of this world will attract him. So that is how Parikshit Maharaj is again and again clarifying and asking, how is this possible? So that was the first question. First of all, ये अंदर घुसे क्यों? घुसने के बाद भी how he became remain protected? That is the second question. Fourth verse. संशयोयम महान ब्रह्मन, ये मेरा बहुत बड़ा संशय है, छोटा मोटा नहीं. संशयो में महान ब्रह्मन,
संशोऽयं महान् ब्रह्म
संशयोयम महान ब्रह्मन, दारागार सुतादिषु
तारसुतादिषु
यत् सिद्धिरभूत्
तत्तस्य यत्
कृष्णे च मतिरच्युता.
विरच्युता.
The king continued, O great Brahmana, this is my great doubt. How was it possible for a person like King Priyavrata, who was so attached to wife, children, and home, to achieve the topmost infallible perfection in Krishna consciousness?
So first of all, you are saying that he was a brahmachari, then he got married. पहले married शादी क्यों किया? तो ठीक है विवाह कर भी लिया तो after marrying also he was a liberated soul. ऐसा कैसे हो सकता है? दारागार सुतादिषु सप्तस्य, and you are telling that he had wife, he had children, he was not a irresponsible ruler, he was a great king. He was doing his duties very nicely. He was really absorbed in maintaining kingdom. So much so, we'll see now what he did. He was not just doing for the namesake. Practically, he created 7 islands and 7 oceans. He practically became the second sun. So he gave his 100%. So someone who is so expert, so involved, how can he withdraw? First of all, sometimes, some devotees, they do their services, job, business, just for, ठीक है भाई काम चलाना है. Somebody is really absorbed in his business and you are saying he is a pure devotee also. ऐसा कैसे हो सकता है? So he is not able to understand this contradiction. First of all, he was trained under Narad Muni, who converted 11,000 Haryashvas, Shalvashvas. So he was such a great renunciant. And he was trained under Narad Muni. And then he was converted into Grihasthas. Or again he became renounced. ऐसा कैसे हो सकता है? Or you are saying Krishna cha matirachyata, he had infallible attachment for Krishna. Prabhupada writes. Parikshit Maharaj wondered how a person so attached to wife, children, home could become so perfectly Krishna conscious. Matirna Krishne Paratasatoa Mitho Vipadyeta Grihavrata. So those who are Grihavrata, those who have taken a vow of family life, it is very difficult for them to practice Krishna consciousness. So Shukdev Goswami, he replies. So Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur writes, how is it that though because of some aparadh he became attached to household life, he still attained perfection? And his attention did not waver from Krishna? How is this? So now the remaining verses or many verses of fifth canto, they are prose. You cannot sing them. They are like they don't have a meter. So we'll be just reading the translations. So Shukdev Goswami, in next fifth and sixth verses, he glorifies the process of devotional service. Yeah, translation.
Sri Sukadeva Goswami said, what you have said is correct. The glories of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is praised in eloquent transcendental verses by such exalted personalities as Brahma, are very pleasing to great devotees and devoted persons. One who is attached to the nectarian honey of the Lord's lotus feet and whose mind is always absorbed in his glories may sometimes be checked by some impediments, but he still never gives up the exalted position he has acquired.
So Shukdev Goswami accepts the question but refutes it. He accepts that whatever you are saying is right, but in this case it was different. He says, it is true that it is not possible for Atmaram to become attached to household life. And a person attached to household life to be attached to Krishna. These two things are not possible. Either A hoga to B hoga. You are saying both things are possible. How is this? Either he will be detached or he will be attached. How can a household person be attached to Krishna? He said, no, it is not. It is possible in the case of a pure devotee. But you should not think that great devotees of inconceivable character would ever become, even temporarily become attached to material things. Pure devotees of the Lord, they never become attached to material things of the Lord in whatever situation they may be. Because a devotee is Srimad Charanaravinda Makaranda Rasa. He is attached to the nectarian honey of the Lord's lotus feet. And second, Avishta Chetasa Bhagavata. His mind is always absorbed in the glories of Krishna. So therefore, Swam Shivatamam Padamim Na Prayena Hinvanti. They never fall down from their exalted position. The devotees, because they have two qualities. They are always attached to hearing the glories of the Lord. And they are always attached to serving the Lord. So therefore, they never fall down from their position. They may be checked by some impediments, but their impediments are never permanent. As in the 10th canto, when the Devatas, they come and they are praying to the Lord in the womb of Devaki. So they describe, oh, Aruhya Krichrena Param Padam Tata Patanti Adha, Mayavadis, Brahmavadis. Mayavadis fall down. So the Lord may say, my devotees also fall down. What's the difference? तथा न ते माधवतावका क्वचित् भ्रश्यन्ति मार्गा त्वयि बद्ध सौहृदा त्वया विगुप्ता विचरेण निर्भया विनायिका नीकपमूर्तषु प्रभो. तथा न te means your devotees of the Lord, they don't fall down like these Mayavadis. Because Bhrashyanti Marga, they may get deviated, but Twai Baddha Saurida, they are attached to your lotus feet. They fall down, but they don't fall away. They get up immediately. So the pure devotee do not have any obstacle. So it is a very important purport. Commentary by Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur writes a very important paragraph here. Because I have told this many times, how the devotees, they are not affected by time and karma. So here again, Chakravarti Thakur mentions this. True, the devotees does not have any obstacle arising from time and karma. There are two types of obstacles for the devotees. So why devotees, they suffer? So sometimes this question is asked, if karma is not there for devotees, why devotees suffer? Two reasons. That caused by great offense and that caused by the Lord's desire. These are the only two reasons for which the devotees suffer. Because of offense and because of the desire of the Lord. The great offense is pacified over a long time after undergoing appropriate difficulties. Or Vaishnava Aparad, Nam Aparad, Seva Aparad, everything is included in this. Any types of.
Like Kumaras and those Dwarpal, Kunda Dwarpal, Jai Vijay.
They didn't get higher types of realization. They got only Shantarati. Because they offended the four Jai Vijay. So four Kumaras, although they got pure devotion by the mercy of the Lord, but because of the offense, it is described that their level of prema was not higher type. They only could achieve Shantarati.
And Jai Vijay, they were associates of the Lord, right? So they came as a demons. 3 times they become a demons. And then they went back to Vaikuntha. So what is the matlab here for Jai Vijay, which is the rule? Offense or Lord's desire?
That is Lord's desire.
Lord's desire.
Lord wanted to perform some pastimes, fighting pastimes. तो झगड़ा करने के लिए कोई तो चाहिए. So they desired that, oh, Lord wants to fight, so let us support the desire of the Lord. So great offense is pacified over a long time. It may take a long time, or it may be quickly removed if the devotees show mercy. He gives 2 examples: Rahugan and Dvivirda. Dvivirda gorilla and Rahugan Maharaj. Jad Bharat and Rahugan. So the Lord's desire means to teach proper conduct to the devotee. So why Lord desires? Either to teach, and the obstacle arising from Lord's desire only increases prem. Bharat Maharaj, although he became deer, but Bharat Maharaj as a deer was a better devotee than Bharat Maharaj as a king. So his prema increased. So that was intervention of the Lord. We'll discuss that in the purport also when this story will come. There is auspicious prarabdha karma, there is inauspicious prarabdha karma. Inauspicious prarabdha means resulting from our karmic reactions. Auspicious prarabdha karma means plan of the Lord. So Bharat Maharaj becoming a deer is auspicious prarabdha. It is plan of the Lord. Lord wanted to increase his intensity of devotion. So like that. So offense means Dvivirda and Rahugana. So Dvivirda, what was the offense of Dvivirda gorilla? Anyone remembers? Anyone knows? When Ram and Lakshman came and they first time met Sugriva. Sorry, not the first time. So when Lakshman became, Lakshman was hit by the astra of, I think, Meghnad. He fell down. That time, Dvivirda, he doubted what type of warrior this Lakshman is. Is he Supreme Lord? He offended Guru Tattva. Lakshman is Guru Tattva. So that was offense of Dvivirda. Because of that, he started associating with Banasur. And he had to be killed by Balramji. Again, Balramji only killed him. So that was offense. It is rectified over a long time. But Rahugana, what mistake he did?
Golden chapter.
Yeah. But immediately he realized, oh, he's a great person. Naham Vishanke Suraraj Vajra Na Tarcha Shula Na Yamasya Danda Na Agni Na Soma Nilvitta Pastra Shanke Vrisham Brahma Kula Mana. I do not fear anyone. I fear offense to a pure devotee. He fell down, he was forgiven. So that's why these two examples are given. Dviveda, he offended Lakshman.
Raghuvan is the deer.
Huh?
Raghuvan
Rahugan?
is the deer.
I King Rahugan. King.
King.
Jada
King
Bharat.
Rahugan.
He did. The first day. The stone.
अच्छा I didn't know this. अच्छा इधर किधर आता है? किधर आता है reference?
Somewhere we read.
That I don't know. It's not like where,
Not that
but
class.
I heard in some class.
So
अच्छा
that
ये
is
तो मैं
the
पहली बार
same-
सुन रहा हूँ.
That
the
was the same.
first
Guru
baby
Maharaj
deer.
Ah, that's right.
was attached.
Baby deer of that
Ah.
Bharat Maharaj.
अच्छा
Oh.
So उनको भी
इसका reference किधर है? Reference चाहिए मेरे को.
I'll find out.
Ah.
Where we heard.
So,
It was
अच्छा.
another class of day.
Interesting piece of information. Okay, great. I know this another ऐसा ही information वो श्री सुबोधिनी में वल्लभाचार्य लिखते हैं. The Bhaktivedantis जो आए ना, they were the four Kumaras.
Wow.
Yeah, in the previous kalpa. So this is next kalpa में ना. Next kalpa में story बता रहे हैं ना. So previous kalpa they were four Kumaras. So they became the four Bhaktivedantis and they came. So ये श्री सुबोधिनी में लिखते हैं वल्लभाचार्य. Okay, so we'll continue this. So Chakravarti Thakur writes. So why the Lord puts his devotees into obstacles, into troubles, to increase their prem and to teach proper conduct. An example is Bharat Maharaj. Since Priyavrat did not commit offense, he didn't commit any offense. His obstacle arose by the desire of the Lord. What was the desire? The Lord wanted to show the world, just see my devotee. Even though he enters family life, he remains detached. That is the lesson the Lord wants to teach to the whole world. It should be understood in case of Priyavrat that the Lord taught that the devotee should follow the order of superiors, though it is not suitable for bhakti. If superiors are giving instructions, so Priyavrat, Swayambhava Manu came and Brahmaji came and all that, it was not conducive for Priyavrat to again become a householder, but still, the Lord wanted to teach that. Okay, next.
Anyway, this discussion is a very big discussion. Narguni, Swayambhu Manu, Brahmaji, Preta.
हाँ सब बड़े बड़े सब महाजन ही है.
So all of them are there. So then again, Maharaj is not following, Narguni himself is not following the Brahmaji's stick. So very
Yeah, no black and white.
very difficult.
It is all gray area here.
So it's not just, it's Lord's desire. So the way he wanted some people to.
Yes. So yeah, everybody has to decide depending on their realization. अभी क्या करना है? Okay, next verse. Translation.
Sukadeva Goswami continued, my dear king, Prince Priyavrata was a great devotee because he sought the lotus feet of Narada, his spiritual master, and thus achieved the highest perfection in transcendental knowledge. With advanced knowledge, he always engaged in discussing spiritual subjects and did not divert his attention to anything else. The prince's father then asked him to take charge of ruling the world. He tried to convince Priyavrata that this was his duty to, as indicated in the revealed scriptures. Prince Priyavrata, however, was continuously practicing Bhakti Yoga by constantly remembering the Supreme Person of the Godhead, thus engaging all his senses in the service of the Lord. Therefore, although the order of his father could not be rejected, the prince did not welcome it. Thus, he very conscientiously raised the question of whether he might be diverted from devotional service by accepting the responsibility of ruling the world.
So Priyavrat Maharaj is accepting household life. It has many, many lessons, as Prabhuji said. The four Kumaras, they refused the request of Brahmaji. And Priyavrat, he accepted the request of Brahmaji. So who is right? महाराज ने बोला तो उन्होंने बोला ठीक है इनको
Equivocal.
and it is said that this is the one request you can reject if somebody tells you to enter family life. So who is right? Both are right because their intention was right. So Priyavrat his intention is to carry out the order of the authority even at the cost of his own devotional service, and that spirit of sacrifice is appreciated. So whether to follow Priyavrat or to follow Kumaras, that depends on the devotee, discretion of a devotee in a certain situation. We cannot say this is right, this is wrong. Ultimately, Krishna sees the intention. What is the mood behind our action? Are we just giving up some service because we fear the responsibilities which will come? Or I want to avoid attachment and all the other problems of the worldly affairs. Just like when Yayati, he wanted youth. So he went to his sons. So कौन से थे? यदु, पुरु, तुर्वसु और कौन थे? जिन्होंने दिया, किसने दिया? पुरु ने दिया ना? पुरु. So पुरु थे, यदु थे, तुर्वसु थे और एक और थे शायद. So Urvasu said, no, we are young, we want to enjoy family life, we can't give you. And Yadu, he also refused. But why he refused?
This Mamcha Krishna.
Because he knew that Krishna is going to come in my dynasty, I don't want to delay it. So he is glorified, and because Yadu, so Puru, he gave his youth, so he is also glorified. So both are right. So therefore, it is not that this is right, this is wrong. In Krishna consciousness, there are many rights. So that is very interesting thing.
All boxes are ticked.
Okay. So Prabhupada writes again, Chhadiya Vaishnava Seva Nistar Paiche Ke Bhav. Prince Priyavrat regularly served the lotus feet of Narada, and thus Prince became perfectly the prince perfectly understood transcendental subject. In truth, Satattvaha. Satattva means Priyavrat knew all the facts about the spirit soul. And when Priyavrat's father Swayambhu Manu requested him to accept the responsibility, first he did not welcome the suggestion because he was a liberated soul. Even though he was engaged in worldly affairs, he did not take pleasure in them. So although he entered family life, but still he was not attached. It will be described in further verses how he was completely absorbed in family life. He was talking to his wife nicely. He had many wives. Prabhupada writes here. Although he has no attraction for children, he cares for them, educates them. Similarly, he speaks to his wife with affectionate words, but he is not attached to her. So Chakravarti Thakur writes.
This sounds so simple but very difficult to speak affectionately but not attached.
इसने बोला simple है. This is very difficult. This is pure devotee's level. For a sadhaka, it is a great task. It is a lifelong practice. Priyavrat's status as an Atmaram was natural. He was Atmaram. By the mercy of Narada, he had become greatest among the devotees. He was already a liberated soul. So even though he entered family life, that family life didn't affect him. Okay. By serving Narada, he quickly became fully knowledgeable in the highest goal and truth, attained initiation. Then he became eager to limit himself with determination to experience only the Supreme Lord. And therefore, when Manu came and said, now you must protect the world, he didn't welcome that request. So, anyone remembers why there was a need to call Priyavrat? ये गए क्यों स्वयंभू मनु प्रियव्रत के पास?
There was no proper king that time.
Okay. क्यों? कहाँ गए बाकी किंग? नहीं, उत्तानपाद के सब हो गए तो कहाँ गए? कोई तो बचा होगा ना?
प्राचीन प्रचेतास
हाँ
प्रचेतास ने क्या किया, वो भी चले जाते हैं।
हाँ ओके, चले जाते हैं। उसके बाद
उनके जो लास्ट में वो
ठीक है, तो प्रचेतास के पुत्र कौन है? Daksha. After Daksha, the second Daksha, the same Daksha born again, he went to do tapasya.
तपस्या के लिए चले जाते हैं एंड
कितने मनवंतर तपस्या?
6 कैंटो
5 to 6 कैंटो नहीं, 6 मनवंतर। 6 कैंटो में आता है 6 मनवंतर, 5 मनवंतर तपस्या कर रहे हैं। So it is like in the middle of the first manvantar he leaves. So now who will rule the Bhumandal? So Swayambhu Manu is said, अरे मेरा भी रिटायरमेंट का समय आया है, मुझे वानप्रस्थ लेना है, अभी रूल कौन करेगा फिर? I don't want to get into all this again, so let me call Priyavrata. So that's why he went. So this is described in the next verse, commentary pro Chakravarti Thakur writes. Okay, we'll read that. Next verse, translation.
Sukadeva Goswami continued. The first created being and most powerful demigod in this universe is Lord Brahma, who is always responsible for developing universal affairs. Born directly from the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he dedicates his activities to the welfare of the entire universe, for he knows the purpose of the universal creation. This supremely powerful Lord Brahma, accompanied by his associates and the personified Vedas, left his own abode in the highest planetary system and descended to the place of Prince Priyavrata's meditation.
So he knows कि अकेले का काम नहीं है. Convince Priyavrat. It is not my own one person's job. He takes Brahmaji also. Just imagine if Brahmaji is coming to convince somebody. That means he's really somebody. So Chakravarti Thakur writes. He said, okay. So Manu appointed his younger brother to rule the kingdom. Knowing that Priyavrat, who was detached since childhood, he would leave his home and go to the forest. So what Manu did, although Uttanpad was a younger brother, Priyavrat was the elder one, but Priyavrat was detached from birth. So Swayambhu Manu appointed Priyavrat, Uttanpad as the king. And then his descendants up to Prachetas ruled the kingdom. In this way, half of Swayambhu Manvantar passed. Daksha was born second time as son of Prachetas, but with a desire to attain his previous powers, he went to perform austerity. No king. So Manu, seeing no alternative, went to Priyavrat. When he was not able to bring him back, Brahma came, and then Priyavrat ruled the kingdom. So Priyavrat, he became the king, and then he ruled for the remaining half of the first Manvantar. Then the second Manvantar was ruled by another great personality. His name is Swarochisha. He is a son of Agni. Third, fourth, and fifth. Writes that. Third, fourth, and fifth Manvantar was ruled by the three sons of Priyavrat: Uttam, Tamas, and Raivat. So all these personalities are still there. Swayambhu is still there. They all live for the day of Brahma.
So where do they live?
They live in different varsha. वो अभी आएगा उसमें. जम्बूद्वीप में अलग-अलग वर्ष रहते हैं ना. So I think in one of the verses, कोई वर्ष याद नहीं आ रहा कौन सा, but he stays there. Okay. Now, Brahmaji, he descends. And then Brahmaji, he gives many wonderful instructions. Translation, please. Next verse. 8th verse.
There was Brahma descended on his carrier, the great one, all the residents of the planets named Vidyaloko, Gandharvaloko, Sadhyaloko, and Charanloko, as well as the great faith and demigods flying in their different airplanes, assembled within the canopy of the sky to receive Lord Brahma and worship him. As he received respect and adoration from the residents of the various planets, Lord Brahma appeared just like the full moon surrounded by illuminating stars. Lord Brahma's great swan then arrived at the border of Vandamadana hill and approached Prince Priyavata, who was sitting there.
Next verse.
Lord Brahma, the father of Narad Muni, is a supreme person within this universe. As soon as Narada saw the great swan, he could understand that Lord Brahma had arrived. Therefore, he immediately stood up along with Swayambhu Manu and his son Priyavrata, whom Narada was instructing. Then they folded their hands and began to worship Lord Brahma with great respect.
So Narad Muni saw that okay, Brahmaji has come because he saw the swan carrier. So he got up and Priyavrata got up. Welcome Brahmaji. Yes, next verse.
Just a technical question. This Swayambhu, how do you pronounce? Swayambhu is Swayambhu.
Swayambhu is this Brahma. And Swayambhu means one who takes birth from Brahma.
Okay.
So he is the son of Swayambhu, so therefore he is Swayambhu. Son of Pritha is Parth. Like that. Swayambhu is Brahmaji. Swayambhu Manu is the son of Brahma. That is first one. Yeah, next verse.
My dear King Parikshit, because Lord Brahma had finally descended from Satyaloka to Bhuloka, Narad Muni, Prince Priyavrata, and Swayambhu Manu came forward to offer him objects of worship and praise him in highly qualified language, according to the Vedic etiquette. At that time, Lord Brahma, the original person of this universe, felt compassion for Priyavrata and looking upon him with a smiling face, spoke to him as follows.
Okay, so Prabhupada writes that Brahma, he descended from Satyaloka to see Priyavrata because the matter was really serious. Nobody was there to rule the kingdom. And if Narad Muni is advising somebody in renounced order of life, so how can somebody convince him to become brahmachari, to become grihastha? So Brahmaji thought, "Hey, Swayambhu Manu ka kaam nahi hai. I have to descend, I have to come down personally." So when Narad Muni made 11,000 sons of Daksha into renunciants, that time Brahmaji didn't intervene. Kyun bana rahe inko brahmachari? But here he is coming personally because this is a serious matter. Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur writes. It should be understood that Narad had been giving instructions to Priyavrata at that time, and Manu had come to bring Priyavrata home. So Bhagavan Brahma, who was presented offerings by Narad, Manu, Priyavrata, and then he started speaking. So Brahmaji, he is thinking, I have interrupted his bhakti, jnana and vairagya. Even in household life, may his bhakti should increase. That is the desire of Brahma. That is Brahma's compassion. That I have come to interrupt his jnana, vairagya, bhakti, but I desire that his bhakti should increase. So that is how when we surrender to the will of superiors, even though we may not like what they are telling us to do, but because they give their blessings, we stay protected. And then Brahma smiles. Why Brahma is smiling? To refuse the kingdom is your stubbornness. I will make you rule the kingdom. That is my stubbornness. I will see whose stubbornness will prevail. So he is also smiling. देखते हैं दादा और पोता की. Okay. Then Brahmaji starts speaking. He gives various reasons in next 9 verses to convince Priyavrata. In 11th verse, he says, 11th and 12th verses, he says, nobody can defy the order of the Lord. Chakravarti Thakur writes, do not hate me, thinking that my words fixed on active life are intolerable. I am also dependent on your Lord only. You are also devotee of the Lord. I am also devotee of the Lord. So please don't hate me. I will speak what He wants you to do. Lord wants you to enter family life. Brahmaji बोल सकते हैं. And Brahmaji can really mean it. So consider this with your intelligence. So what he speaks? Translation.
Lord Brahma, the supreme person within this universe, said, my dear Priyavrata, kindly hear attentively what I shall say to you. Do not be jealous of the Supreme Lord, who is beyond our experimental measurements. All of us, including Lord Shiva, your father, and the great sage Maharishi Narada, must carry out the order of the Supreme. We cannot deviate from his order.
So Lord's order is undeniable. No one can refuse the order of the Lord. And don't find fault with your Lord. Don't think that Lord wants to cast you in the material life. Oh, why he is doing this with me? He should not be estimated in this way. Because he quickly delivers the person whom he engages in actions in this world. If the Lord is engaging somebody in materialistic life, for sure Lord will deliver the person also. So therefore, please don't hate him. Prabhupada writes, there are 12 authorities, and out of those 12, 4 were present before Priyavrata. बताइए, इतना बड़ा सभा चल रहा है, 4 महाजन खड़े हैं सामने, ब्रह्मा, नारद, Swayambhu Manu, and Lord Shiva is also present, बोल रहे. Because he says all of us, including Lord Shiva. That means he is also there. ब्रह्मा जी शिव जी को भी लेके आए, आप भी चलो अपने साथ में.
मतलब जबरदस्त आदमी. जबरदस्त.
Not an ordinary person. हाँ जी.
There are two brothers, no? Priyavrata and Karpa.
हाँ.
And so many SMS has gone in the Uttam Pada.
Correct.
Still, the old age is not come up Priyavrata.
Old age. They live for many millions of years, Baba.
Lakhs of years.
That is not our calculation going on. They live for many lakhs of years. He's still young.
Relatively, he is very young.
Kumaras are oldest, still they are 5 years old. So the time span doesn't matter for them.
This is the highest resolution every time I can imagine of Lord Shiva, Lord Brahma. Everybody.
4 लोग आए कन्विंस करने के लिए, बताइए. And वो लोग भी 4 लोग अकेले नहीं आए. They were accompanied by many other sages also. Prabhupada writes, Brahma wanted to impress upon Priyavrata that although these personalities are all great authorities, they cannot disobey the order. So all of them have come to convince you that please follow the order of the Lord. It will be glorious for you. Because whatever Lord does, that is beyond any fault. He's apapavitham. Okay, next verse. Translation. Okay, we'll recite this verse. न तस्य कश्चित् तपसा विद्यया वा मनीषया वा नैवार्थ धर्मै परतः कृतो वा कृतं विहन्तुं तनुभृत् विभूयात्.
One cannot avoid the order of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, not by the strength of severe austerities and exalted Vedic education, or the power of mystic yoga, physical prowess, or intellectual activities. Nor can one use his power of religion, material opulence, or any other means, either by himself or with the help of others, to defy the orders of the Supreme Lord. That is not possible for any living being from Brahma down to the.
So you should not think that you will show your power and knowledge and anything you have and you can disobey. Nobody can disobey the order of the Lord. Na tasya kasyit tapasa, by tapasya, vidyayava, by education, yoga viryena, mystic yoga, manishayava, by your intelligence, by your virya, by physical prowess, naiva artha, by your wealth, dharma, by your religion, paratasvatova. कहाँ पे आया वर्ड परतस्वतो मालूम कहीं पे आया है ना मिथो विपद्येत गृहभृतानाम अदांतो भी महाराज बोलते हैं you can't achieve devotional service by your endeavor by endeavor of your ministers and combine together वहां पे गया मिथा परतस्वतो मिथो विपद्येत okay so by yourself and by the help of others you cannot disobey the order of the Lord. So therefore, please follow the order. You can't disobey. So Prabhupada writes that in this universe, nobody can disobey the order of the Lord. Yam Brahma Varunendra Rudra Maruta Stunvanti Divyai Savai. All the greatest of the controllers of the universe are offering obeisances, offering prayers to the Lord. Madhvayad Vati Vatoyam. सूर्य स्तपति मदभयात वर्षाति इंद्रो धरति अग्नि मृत्युश्चरति मदभयात. Out of fear of Lord, everything is happening. Nobody can disobey the order of the Lord. So therefore, just follow the instructions of Lord.
We are in the puppets in the hands of the Lord.
That is Yoga Maya working here. For ordinary people, it is their karma. It is Mahamaya. They are helplessly bound by the ropes of material nature, gunas. But here it is all will of the Lord. Prabhupada writes, Manishaya is of special significance. He says, you don't use your intelligence. Don't try to justify that you are telling me to enter family life. What is this? Priyavrat might argue that Brahma was requesting him to enter family life, although Narad Muni advised him not to enter family life. Whom to accept? Either Brahma or Narad, both are Mahajans. किसको follow करना है? Under the circumstances, the use of word Manishaya is appropriate. Indicates that since both Narad and Brahma are authorized, Priyavrat should neglect neither. So Priyavrat should neglect neither of them, but should use his intelligence to follow the advice of both. So therefore, a devotee should understand how to use everything in service of the Lord, not getting attached. Anasaktasya Vishayan, Prabhupada writes that. That is actual renunciation. Renunciation doesn't mean you give up everything. Renunciation means use everything in service of the Lord. Okay, he continues. Bhavaya nashaya cha karma kartum. Shokaya mohaya sadabhayaya. Haya cha deha yogam. Avyakta janatam gadatte.
My dear Ruta, by the order of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, all living entities accept different types of bodies for birth and death, activity, lamentation, illusion, fear of future dangers, and happiness and distress.
So now he's saying that actually Jiva, they depend on the Lord. All the living entities, they depend on the order of the Lord. Under the order of the Lord, everything is happening. They perform actions for birth and death. Then they lament, they fear, they experience happiness, distress. It is all happening under the order of the Lord. And Lord is ordering through material nature. Prakrite kriyamanani gunai karmani sarvasha. And a foolish person thinks, I am the doer. Everything is happening under the will of the Lord, and a foolish person thinks, I am the doer. In fact, entire world is working like a bull helplessly goes around, like because a rope is there in his nose. So entire world is following the order of the Lord like that. Prota nasi dvipade. Next verse. Yadvachitantyam gunakarma damabhi sudustarairvat suyojita सर्वे वहामो बलिमीश्वराय होता नसीवा द्विपदे चतुष्पदः
My dear boy, all of us are bound by the Vedic injunctions to the divisions of Varnashrama according to our qualities and work. These divisions are difficult to avoid because they are scientifically arranged. We must therefore carry out our duties of Varnashra Dharma like bulls obliged to move according to the direction of a driver, pulling on ropes knotted on their noses.
So therefore, please obey. Nobody can disobey. We are all controlled by the Lord. Tantyam guna karma damabhi. According to the modes, we have received the body, and this body is under the control of the modes. Like a bull who is controlled by a rope passing through his nose. So this four system of social order, Varna and Ashrama, they are created to control human beings. Nobody can disobey. Prabhupada writes. Varnashram system is scientific. Therefore, if we accept the division of Varna Ashram according to Vedic instructions, our life will be successful. Varnashram acharvata purushena parakuman Vishnu aradhyate. The entire purpose of Varnashram is Vishnu aradhana.
What do you think today, while this is totally rejected by many people?
That's why Prabhupada never emphasized so much. It is this whole process of Varnashram system that is much debated process. So therefore, Prabhupada established Daivi Varnashram. That whoever you may be, just become a devotee. And Prabhupada wanted to establish Varnashram because many people will not come to direct devotional service. At least they will develop some sukriti, some piety. So in some life they'll come to devotional service. So that was the broader vision of Prabhupada. Because there are some people who carry the sukriti. Some people they carry the sukriti of becoming devotee, they will take to devotional service. But many will not take, most will not take. So what about them? So therefore Prabhupada he wanted to establish Varnashram somehow or other, in some way, so that at least they'll get some piety. But overemphasis of establishing this Varnashram in today's day and age, it creates lots of anxiety and distractions from the main principles of devotion. So that's why it is much debated. How to establish, to what extent we can establish Varnashram, that is up to every individual, society, and the leadership to understand. Okay. Chakravarti Thakur writes, just as the jivas are dependent on the Lord for accepting bodies, they are dependent for doing activities. Dear child, we are all bound firmly to actions according to the modes and to the designations, such as Brahman, by the rope of injunctions of the Lord. So scriptures, they give injunctions, and by those injunctional ropes, a Varnashram person follows. He's bound that I have to do this. I have to do this activity now. Okay, next verse. He says, therefore, O Priyavrat, accept with faith whatever the Lord gives us. Isha visrishtam hi avarundhamaheyanga
Isha Visrishtam hi Avaradamahe
sukham dukham va sukham va gunakarma sangat
Sukamba Gunakarma Sangha
asthaya tattad yadayunta natha chakshushmatandha iva niyamana.
My dear Priyavrata, according to our association with different modes of material nature, the Supreme Personality of Godhead gives us bodies and the happiness and distress we achieve. One must therefore remain situated as he is and be conducted by Supreme Personality of Godhead exactly as a blind man is led by a person who has eyes with which to see.
So all these instructions, they are for us so that we can reach our destination properly. We are like blind people. And these instructions are like the person with vision. So therefore, when we follow the rules of the Lord, we achieve perfection, O Priyavrat. So please don't disobey. Just follow whatever the Lord is telling. So we are dependent even in terms of enjoying the results of our karma. So Brahma is trying very hard to convince Priyavrat that, okay, please follow whatever the Lord Lord is telling you. So Prabhupada in the purport, he describes how the ultimate purpose of life is to surrender to the Lord. Sarva dharman parityajya mam ekam sharanam vaja. Follow the instructions. So Prabhupada focuses on the ultimate instructions. Man manava madbhakto sarva dharman parityajya. So then Prabhupada doesn't miss to also mention the ultimate goal of life, chant the holy names of the Lord, Hare Nam, Hare Nam, Hare Nam. Okay, next verse. Mukto bitavad bibhyat swadeham arabdhamashnan abhimana shunya yathadhutam pratyata nidra kim tvanyadehaya gunanna vrinte.
Even if one is liberated, he nevertheless accepts the body he has received according to his past karma. Without misconceptions, however, he regards his enjoyment and suffering due to that karma the way an awakened person regards a dream he had while sleeping. He thus remains steadfast and never works to achieve another material body under the influence of three modes of material.
So Priyavrat Maharaj, he may say that whatever you are saying applies to the actions of ignorant man. He has to follow the rules and regulations of the scriptures. But all these things do not apply to a liberated person, to a jnani. So why are you telling me to follow all these things? Brahma says even if somebody is liberated, if he accepts a body, then he has to work and follow. Just like a person who is awake, so he regards all the activities of the dream and he understands this is dream situation, this is awakened situation. So he is not affected by the dream state. So even if you are liberated, still you have to follow the rules and regulations. So the difference between the conditioned soul and the liberated soul getting a body is conditioned soul, when he gets a body, he's bound. A liberated soul, when he gets a body, he is not bound. His actions do not create another body for him. That is the difference between a liberated soul getting a body and a conditioned soul getting a body. Because as soon as the conditioned soul gets a body, he starts working for enjoyment and he creates bondage. A liberated soul, he doesn't work to get enjoyment. He works to serve the Lord. His condition is like a coconut which is detached from the shell. You move, shake it, you can see coconut is detached. So that is the understanding of, that is the position of a liberated soul. Prabhupada writes that. The difference between liberated and conditioned soul is that conditioned soul is under the concept of bodily life, whereas the liberated person knows that he is not the body. Priyavrat might have thought that although conditioned soul is forced to act according to laws of nature, why should he? He is not a conditioned soul. To answer this doubt, Brahma informed him that even those who are liberated do not resent accepting in the present body the result of past activities. While sleeping, one dreams many unreal things, but when he awakens, he disregards them and makes progress in factual life. Similarly, a liberated person who has completely understood that he is not the body but the soul disregards past activities and performs his present activities in such a way that they do not produce reactions. So that is how a pure devotee acts, but his actions do not create bondage. Because everything is done for the pleasure of the Lord. Yatyasat karmano anyatra lokoyam karmavandana. He is completely liberated. Priyavrat may say, well, you are saying all these big things, but still household life is very, very dangerous. So Brahmaji speaks a very wonderful verse. He says, if you are having three qualities, you will not be entangled in family life. Bhayam pramattasya vaneshvapi sya
Vayam pramattasya vaneshvapya
yata saste sa shat sapatnaha
yada saste savasarpapanna
jitendriyasyatmarate budhasya
jitendriyasya amarate vasya
griha. ठीक है, connected mind.
Airport.
Okay, so now he says, Brahmaji says, Bhayam pramattasya vaneshu, out of fear of conditional life, if somebody enters forest, vaneshu api, but he doesn't go alone. If somebody is not self-controlled, he doesn't go forest also alone. He goes with 6 wives. Who are the 6 wives?
What is the 26 unwind?
But Jitendriya, Atmarati, and Buddha. If somebody has these 3 qualities, he is sense-controlled, he is self-satisfied, and he is learned. Simple, na? बस इतना ही चाहिए. 3 qualities. A person who is self-satisfied, learned, and who has conquered his senses. Grihashramam kimnu karoti avadya. What harm household life will do if conditions apply? So Prabhupada writes, Griheva vanete thako ha gauranga bole thako. Jedine grihe bhajan dekhi grihete gulok bhai. So that is a condition of a liberated soul, a pure devotee of the Lord. He is not affected in any situation. Okay. Prabhupada writes. Lord Brahma indicates that instead of going to the forest with uncontrolled senses, it is better and more secure to engage the senses in service of the Lord. In that way, one can be liberated while living in this world. Ihayasya haredasya karmana manasagira nikhilashvapi avasthasu jivan mukta. He quotes this verse by Prabodhananda Saraswati. Durdant indriya kala sarpa patali protkhat damstrayate. What are these senses? They are like the snakes with broken fangs. The pure devotees के लिए बोलना इतना easy रहता है. Yep, snakes with broken fangs. But till the time you are not liberated, they are very venomous serpents. But this is what is in store for a conditioned sadhaka. Okay. Ya sat sapatnan vijigishamano griheshu nirvishyayateta purvam atyeti durga shrita urjitari shine kamam vichare vipaschet.
One who is situated in household life and who systematically controls his mind and five sense organs is like a king in his fortress who conquers his powerful enemies. After one has been trained in household life and his lusty desires have decreased, he can move anywhere without danger.
So one who is sense controlled, even if he is in the family life, he can move like a king, will not be affected by anything. Chakravarti Thakur writes, there are three types of people in this world. Those without sense control, karmis. Those with sense control, that is yogis. And those with the desire to control the senses, that is jnanis. There is no fault if the first two types enter household life. And there is praise for the person in household life who desires to control the senses. Desiring to conquer the senses after first situating himself in household life, one should endeavor to control them by restricting them. So even if somebody enters the family life and he desires to control the senses, that is also glorious. So therefore, if somebody is entering family life and is endeavoring to control his senses, he is also a glorious person. The desire to control. Prabhupada writes how the senses are very, very powerful. Senses are considered very powerful enemies. As the king in the strong fortress can conquer powerful enemies, a householder in Grihastha life can conquer the lusty desires and be very secure when he takes one prastham. So these senses, they are considered to be the thieves which take away our discrimination power. Andasya me rita vivek mahadanasya chaurai prabho balibhendriya namadheya. Lakshikar Maharaj is offering this prayer. Andasya me, I have become blinded. Why? Because we don't see with our eyes, we see with our intelligence, we discriminate, and that's where we get knowledge. Andasya me, I have become blinded. Why? Rita vivek, my discrimination is stolen. Who has stolen them? Chaurai Prabho Balibhi. They are very powerful thieves. Who are these? Indriya Namadheya, the senses. So a blind person in jungle, what will happen? Mohanda Kupa Kuhare Vinipatitasya. Now I am fallen in this deep dark well of material existence. So my Lord, please help me. Okay. So Brahmaji continues.
High elevated devotees display in such a high we don't do anything sitting here so very competent.
आप लोग तो इतना मेहनत कर रहे हैं, सेवा कर रहे हैं, और क्या चाहिए? And if they are serving nicely.
We will not able to write this 4 sentences also.
Okay.
So I was just curious. Now you said this verse from Tulsidhar Alvar, Mukunda Marana. How do you suddenly dwell into that?
Suddenly कुछ नहीं होता है, पहले से suddenly कभी कभी आता है, नहीं देर और कुछ नहीं, ऐसा नहीं है, और सब भ्रम में मत रहिए.
You plan?
Yeah. Some things they come spontaneously. Some things
You have to plan in
make notes and everything I do. See, whatever seems to be spontaneous, please understand lots of effort has gone behind it.
Yeah.
That's why it looks spontaneous. कि प्रभु जी एकदम spontaneously इतना सब बोल देते हैं. Spontaneous कुछ नहीं होता है. If something is coming spontaneously, उसके पीछे बहुत सारा मेहनत हुआ है पीछे. तो सुना है. I also hear this Vidyapeeth classes.
Okay.
वो Vidyapeeth का ISKCON desire trip है ना, they have uploaded all the Vidyapeeth classes. So I hear, then I make notes. So something else comes to my mind, I add. So that's how it is.
तो प्रभु जी हमारे से 1000 times.
नहीं
this is नहीं करते.
this
They
is
have dedicated their life for Krishna. They are just for Krishna.
नहीं not dedicated. वो भी लाइफ बचा है. एंड पे वो बकरे की दाढ़ी साधु की दाढ़ी वो वही है.
बहुत सिंसियर हो गए तो उस समय अच्छे से सब ब्रांड किया होगा.
नहीं हमने तो पढ़ा ही नहीं. मैंने तो कहाँ विद्यापीठ किया है. मैं तो ऐसे ही अपना पढ़ के थोड़ा कुछ तो कर लिया.
अपने जैसे इतने मेरे जैसे इतने मूड शिष्यों को सिखाने के लिए प्रभु जी इतना मेहनत करते हैं.
फाटे मोरा मान टाइम या छाड़. Okay, we'll continue. I wanted to come to this अपना ज्योग्राफी वाला. वो थोड़ा देर में आएगा. 23rd वर्ष से आएगा वो.
So difficult.
Okay, so therefore Brahmaji says, please seek shelter of the Lord's lotus feet. Tvam abja tam twabja nabhang risaroja kosha.
Grisaroja kosha.
Nirchit shat sapatnaha.
Kritashrito nirjit
Bhungshveha bhogan purushati dishtan.
bhogan purushati dishta.
Vimukta sangha prakritim bhajasva.
Lord Brahma continued, my dear Priyavrata, seek shelter inside the opening of the lotus of the feet of the Lord, whose navel is also like a lotus. Thus, conquer the 6 sense organs, the mind and knowledge acquiring senses. Accept material enjoyment because the Lord extraordinarily has ordered you to do this. You will thus always be liberated from material association and be able to carry out the Lord's orders in your constitutional position.
So already benediction is given. You nakos. He's saying you'll always be liberated. You will never be affected by material modes. So he's saying, I have mentioned about 3 types of people. You are none of them. You are a great devotee of the Lord. You have already conquered the senses because you have engaged them in service of the Lord. Anybody who engages his mind and senses in the lotus feet of the Lord, they are completely beyond. Yashaucha nishrita sarit pravarodakena. कहाँ पे आता है? अरे याद किया आप लोगों ने? एग्जाम दिया ना 2-3 दिन पहले नहीं दिया? The lotus feet of the Lord. Kapila Dev describes. Yashaucha nishrita sarit pravarodakena. The water which has washed the lotus feet of the Lord. That lotus feet is so powerful that Lord Shiva puts on his head the foot wash. And that lotus feet of the Lord, it is like a thunderbolt. It can destroy the mountains of anartha. Dhyaturumana shamana shaila nisrishta vajram vajrahi. So he's saying you have already taken shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord. Don't worry, you will not be affected. You will stay protected always. You are always Sagunana Samatityetan Brahma Bhuyaya. You are a liberated transcendental being. Prabhupada quotes many verses about taking shelter of the lotus feet. Mahat Padam Punya Yasho Murare Padam Padam Vats Padam. Anybody who takes shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord, Samashritaye Padapallava. Prabhupada writes that. And then Prabhupada quotes this. Mahaprabhu tells the Kurma Brahman, Kabhuna Badhibe Tomar Vishaya Taranga Punarapye Thani Pabe Morasanga. Kurum Brahman wanted to come with Mahaprabhu. He said, please Thir Hoiya, Gharayao, Nahao, Batul, Krame Pailok, Bhavasindu Pool. Don't be impatient. Stay home. You will be liberated in due course of time. So, anyone who takes shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord gets liberated. So that's how Shukadeva Goswami, he now continues. what happened later. Yes. Translation.
Today's question will continue. After thus being fully instructed by the Brahma, who is the spiritual master of the three worlds, Vaibhav, his own position being inferior, offered obeisance, accepted the order and carried it out with great respect.
Badham iti. This is a very wonderful word to listen. Badham iti. Badham iti means yes, sir. You should accept it. Yes, sir. That's the same thing when Swayambhu Manu said Badham iti to Brahmaji. Brahmaji was so happy. तो अभी तक सबने रिजेक्ट ही कर दिया, महाराज ने रिजेक्ट कर दिया, शिव जी ने तो ऐसा क्रिएशन किया कि उत्पात हो गया. फिर 10 ऋषि जो बना रहे थे, they were in पक्का गुडनेस सत्वगुण, धीरे धीरे क्रिएशन. So first time somebody said yes sir, क्या चाहिए बोलिए. So Brahmaji was very happy. So now Priyavrata, after hearing all these instructions, he says Badham iti. Yes sir, I will follow it. So that's why Brahmaji is very happy. So Brahmaji here, he succeeded in convincing Priyavrata.
One question.
He could not succeed convincing Kumaras. Yes.
Question is, see, Brahmaji is also demigod. All these are demigods only, Shiva and all. Then why Priyavrata listened to him? These all demigods. Instead, he should have asked, pray to Krishna. Give me.
Here we should not consider them as demigods. They are representatives of the Lord. So Brahma is also a great devotee of the Lord. Here the focus is not on his demigod position. Here the position is he is a great Mahajan. And if Mahajan is speaking something, then follow it. So that's why Priyavrata accepted. So Brahma, he is doing so many different services. He's trying to convince many people. Sometimes he succeeds, sometimes he doesn't succeed. So he knows how to deal with different people and how to accept the situations. Kumaras refused. Brahmaji didn't force them. No, you have to follow. And he didn't push all these 10 sages. Create more. Itna satoguna mein kyun hai? And here he is convincing Priyavrata Maharaj. So he knows when to use which, strategy, how to speak in this situation. So that's how Brahmaji is now successful in convincing Priyavrata. So now the next question is, Priyavrata, he is not accepting out of grudge. कि इतने बड़े बड़े 4 लोग आके मुझे समझा रहे हैं, अभी ठीक है, अभी क्या करेंगे, मान लेते हैं. So next verse describes that Priyavrata is not resenting. He is not becoming envious or angry on any of them. Translation.
Lord Brahma was then worshipped by Manu, who respectfully satisfied him as well as he could. Priyavrata and Narad also looked upon Brahma with no tinge of resentment, having engaged Priyavrata in accepting his father's request. Lord Brahma returned to his abode, Satyaloka, which is indescribable by the endeavor of the mundane mind or words.
And Narad Muni is not thinking, मेरा इतना energy डाला मैंने इसमें और इसको लेके चले गए मेरे resource को. Narad and Priyavrata, they looked at Brahma with no tinges of resentment. So all emotions are involved here. It is not that ये सब तो liberated beings हैं, so उनके लिए problem नहीं हुआ रहेगा. So they were not angry or envious. They were not resenting. So he understood, Narad Muni understood, okay, this service is now more important. So he allowed it. So the attitude of accepting the order of the superiors is also important. One may accept out of grudge because you are superiors and I have no option, so I'll accept it. But here he is accepting in a very, very wonderful mood, not resenting, understanding the need of the situation. Okay.
So Lord Brahmaji, when he comes, he starts saying that like, it is a desire of the Lord.
Desire of the Lord.
So
Shuru
it
the
is not the desire of the Lord.
पूरा स्टोरी उनका पूरा इंस्ट्रक्शन ही वही है, फॉलो द ऑर्डर ऑफ द लॉर्ड, नोबडी कैन डिसोबे द ऑर्डर ऑफ द लॉर्ड. ही इज नॉट सेइंग मेरा ऑर्डर है, ऑर्डर ऑफ द लॉर्ड पे ही गिव फुल लेक्चर. So after this, Swayambhu Manu, he really felt relieved. So Prabhupada writes in the purport, Manu was certainly very satisfied that Brahma had persuaded his son Priyavrat to take the responsibility. He was also in anxiety कि मुझे अभी सेवा करना पड़े, मैं यहाँ पे संन्यास लेने के मूड में हूँ, वानप्रस्थ जा रहा हूँ और ये बोल रहा हूँ मेरे को सेवा करना पड़ेगा. I will have to deal with all this. So he was. Although Brahma had forced Priyavrat to accept the management of worldly affairs, thus breaking his vow to remain brahmachari, Narad and Priyavrat did not look upon Brahma with resentment. Narad was not at all sorry that he had been frustrated in making Priyavrat a disciple. Both Priyavrat and Narad were exalted personalities who knew how to respect Brahma. So it was a great honor that Priyavrat is becoming somebody's disciple. So it was a question of honor for ordinary person. If the prime minister's son becomes a brahmachari and he becomes a disciple of somebody, so it is a great respect and honor ki mera disciple kone wala. But Narad Muni is not in that situation. He is not in that mood. So therefore he understood. Okay, then Prabhupada describes the life of Brahma as the translation is, he went to Satyaloka, which is indescribable by the endeavor. So Prabhupada mentions about Satyaloka, the life of Brahma in the purport. Okay, next verse, translation.
Swayam,
Yes.
Swayambhuva Manu, with the assistance of Lord Brahma, thus fulfilled his desires. With the permission of great sage Narad, he delivered to his son the governmental responsibility for maintaining and protecting all the planets of the universe. He thus achieved relief from the most dangerous, poisonous ocean of material desires.
So he was not like the politicians of current times who want to rule till the last breath. He was happy कि चलो छूट गए. So that is how a Rajarishi is. Rajarishi means detached from heart. And we have seen so many stories of the great Rajarishis who gave up their kingdom. And Bharat Maharaj, his story will come. Jaho Yueva Mallavat. He gave up his kingdom as if one doesn't even look after passing stool. Nobody does analysis. Kaisa hai, kitna hai. So why this example is given, Chakravarti Thakur writes, why only this example? He says, if somebody responds to the nature's call, he feels relieved. If somebody holds it, then one becomes disturbed. And after seeing what has come out, one becomes disgusted. Similarly, a pure devotee of the Lord, for him, sense gratification is like stool. When he gives up, he is relieved. If he has to be in a situation, he is disturbed. And if he sees somebody who is engaging in sense gratification, he is disgusted. So that is how Rajarishis are. They are completely detached. So Prabhupada writes how in the material affairs, this people of this world, the kings of this world, they want to enjoy. And this material world is like an ocean of poison. He quotes, Samsara Vishanale Divanishi Hiya Jale Judaite Na Koi Nu Paye. Narottam Das Thakur says, this is a world full of fire. And only there is one way. Golokera Premdhan. That is the only medicine. There is a beautiful verse which describes, I think it comes in or somewhere. Vyamoham prashamaushadam munimano vritti pravrityaushadam daityendraartikaraushadam tribhuvane sanjeevanaikaushadam bhaktya tantahitaushadam bhavabhaya pradhamsanaikaushadam Shreya Prapti Karoshadham Pibamana Shri Krishna Divyaushadham. He says, Vyamoham. This world is a world full of bewilderment. The world is having the disease of moha. There is only one medicine which can bring one out of this moha. That is Sri Krishna Divya Aushadham. So many things he is describing. So there is only one thing. Golokara Premdan Harinama Sankirtan. Okay. So now after this, Shukdev Goswami starts describing the activities of Priyavrat. What all Priyavrat did. Next 3 verses. Translation.
Following the order of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Maharaja Vaibhav fully engaged in worldly affairs, yet he always thought of the lotus feet of the Lord, which are the cause of liberation from all material attachment. Although Priyavrata Maharaj was completely freed from all material contamination, he ruled the material world just to honor the orders of his superiors.
Just to honor the order of the superiors. Man Vardhana Mahatam. That was the entire mood. He was liberated soul. He had no attachment for things of this world. He was the greatest yogi. So Prabhupada in the purport he describes about the qualities of a devotee. They are never disturbed in any situation of life. So this verse now starts answering how Priyavrat enjoyed family life. Parikshit had asked this question also. So the first question was why he entered family life. That is answered. Now the second question is how he enjoyed family life and still remained detached. That is being described. Okay, next verse.
Thereafter, Maharaj Priyavrata married Bharishmati, the daughter of the Prajapati named Vishwakarma. In her, he begot 10 sons equal to him in beauty, character, magnanimity, and other qualities. He also begot a daughter, the youngest of all, named Udraswati. Urjaswati.
Next verse, translation.
The 10 sons of Maharaj Priyavrata were named Agnidhara, Idmajiva, Yagnabahu, Mahavira, Hiranyarita, Ritaprastha, Savana, Medadi, Vitihotra, and Kavi. They are also names of Agni, the fire god.
Next verse.
Three among these 10, namely Kavi, Mahavira, and Sahavna, lived in complete celibacy, thus trained in brahmachari life from the beginning of childhood. They were very conversant with the highest perfection known as the Paramhansa Asa.
So the Prabhupada focuses on the word Urdhva Retasaha. They were brahmacharis from birth. Next verse.
Thus, situated in the renounced order from the beginning of their lives, all 3 of them completely controlled the activities of their senses and thus became great saints. They concentrated their minds always upon the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is the resting place, the totality of living entities, and who is therefore celebrated as Vasudeva. Lord Vasudeva is the only shelter of those who are actually afraid of material existence. By constantly thinking of his lotus feet, these 3 sons of Maharaja Vaibhav became advanced in pure devotional service. By the progress of their devotional service, they could directly perceive the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is situated in everyone's heart as the Super Soul, and realize that there was qualitatively no difference between themselves and him.
So these 3 sons, they perfected their life. They became Paramhamsas. Prabhupada in the purport describes there are 4 types of sannyasis: Kutichak, Bahuttak, Parivrajagacharya, Paramhamsa. We have heard this many times. I'll not go into the detail. Next verse, translation.
In his other wife, Maharaj Priyavrata begot 3 sons named Uttama, Tamasa, and Raivata. All of them later took charges of Manvantara millennium.
Yeah. Okay. So now starts little geography. Yes, translation. Next verse. Okay, Spinning. Next, Mishu. Yeah.
After Kavi, Mahavira and Sadhana were completely trained in Paramahamsa stage of life. Maharaj Priyavrata ruled the universe for 11 Arbudas of years. Whenever he was determined to fix his arrow upon his bowstring, with his two powerful arms, all opponents of the regulative principles of religious life would flee from his presence in fear of an unparalleled prowess he displayed in ruling the universe. He greatly loved his wife Varismati, and with the increase of days, their exchange of nuptial love also increased. By her feminine behavior, as she dressed herself, walked, got up, smiled, laughed, and glanced about, Queen Vahismati increased his energy. Thus, although he was a great soul, he appeared lost in the feminine conduct of his wife. He behaved with her just like an ordinary man, but actually he was a great soul.
How many years he ruled?
11.
11 Arbuda. That means 1 Arbuda means 10 crore.
Okay.
110 years.
110 crore.
Ruled, yeah.
He ruled. And he appeared as if he is completely overcome by the beauty of his wife. But Shukdev Goswami clarifies, he was Mahamana, he was a great soul. So one should not judge a devotee by the external actions. The internal mood is completely different. That's 28. Prabhupada writes, the association of good wife is necessary in the life of karma and political affairs. So Priyavrat had a very good wife, Bahishmati, who kept him encouraged as he executed his government duties very properly. Okay, so now, in the 30th verse, Shukdev Goswami speaks something, and that later created a query in the mind of Parikshit. So now we'll start something about the discussion of this Bhumandal. Yes, please, translation.
While so excellently ruling the universe, King Priyavrata once became dissatisfied with the circumambulation of the most powerful sun god. In circling Sumeru hills on his chariot, the sun god illuminates all the surrounding planetary systems. However, when the sun is on the northern side of the hill, the south receives less light, and when the sun is in the south, the north receives less. King Priyavrata disliked this situation and therefore decided to make daylight in the part of universe where there was night. He followed the orbit of the sun god on a brilliant chariot and thus fulfilled his desire. He could perform such wonderful activities because of the power he had achieved by worshipping the Supreme Personality of God.
मतलब किसी को भी ऐसा प्रॉब्लम होगा क्या उधर अंधेरा हो रहा है sun is not doing his duty properly so आप लोगों को थोड़ा मालूम है ना कि ये भूमंडल कैसे है you heard little bit of cosmology थोड़ा सा कुछ सुने हैं कभी
थोड़ा सा प्रभु जी परसों बताया ना भागवतम क्लास में
अच्छा
how sun is traveling
सन का ट्रैवलिंग तो मैं भी नहीं बताऊंगा वो बहुत ही कॉम्प्लेक्स चीज है उसके लिए मैं पावनेश्वर प्रभु को बुलाऊंगा okay we'll start something about this cosmology
They're able to see.
and the sharing okay so we all know how Mahavishnu he glances on the material nature called Pradhan and he infuses that Pradhan with 5 elements Dravya, Kala, Karma, Swabhav and Jiva and then Pradhan starts getting transformed into Mahatattva. Then Mahatattva gets transformed. First, it is in the mode of goodness, that is called as Sutra Tattva. Then it transforms into mode of passion, and then ultimately it becomes mode of ignorance. So, mode of ignorance, Mahatattva is called as Ahankar. It is there in Subodhini mein hai ye pura chart. And then all the elements are created. Then all these elements are created, the sense devatas are created, they are lying without anything. They are just scattered. So then the Lord again sends his Shakti, that is called as cohesive energy, or Sanskrit mein Vibhrat Shakti. That Shakti brings all these elements together and creates the Brahmanda, the shell. And this shell lies inactive for 1,000 years. Then again, Mahavishnu expands as Garbhodaksha Vishnu and enters this material universe and lies down in the bottom of the universe. So this universe, which is Brahmanda, it is half filled with the sweat of Garbhodaksha Vishnu, which is called as Garbhodak Sagar.
One small thing. Sorry, you have explained it so many times. Now, these all cohesive elements have come. So that means already living entities have been created.
Living entities are always there. They are never created. They are always there, na?
Oh, yeah.
They are all elements coming together. The jivas are always there. Where the jivas are, now the jivas are lying in the body of Garbhodaksha Vishnu or Mahavishnu.
Mahavishnu.
The Mahavishnu impregnated this with the jivas also. Jivas are never created. They are always there in the abdomen of Mahavishnu. In that sense, Sa Aikshata, Sa Astrijata, the Lord glanced and Lord created. But the jivas are not created. This is referring to the beginning of the universal creation, when the jivas are impregnated. Okay. So this is the horizontal structure of the universe as seen from above.
Top view.
Top view of the universe. So now the top view of universe, you will see only half. And what is happening here is, ये जो भी आप एक मिनट so this is entire Bhumandal, as you are seeing. This is the last section of this Bhumandal. This is called as Loka mountain. उसके बाहर जो है, this is a little space. That's why when Hiranyaksha, he manipulated earth, the Bhumandal fell in the Garbhodak Sagar. तो fell मतलब कुछ तो space होगा तभी तो अंदर जाएगा. So this space, this is the little space. Because of this, the Bhumandal sank in the Garbhodak ocean. So this is the horizontal section. Now,
So that diagram,
हाँ वो दिख रहा है ना यहाँ.
वो यहाँ पे ऐसा दिखा है.
बस ये दिख
ये
रहा है.
इधर expand किया गया.
This is top view. This is top view. This is side view. Now to see more, this is the vertical section of the universe.
That was horizontal.
This is the universe split into half. So ये जो दिख रहा है, this is Lokalok mountain. जो भी दिखा है ना आपको पीछे. So this is the last boundary of Bhumandal. So Varahadev, what he lifted, it is not earth, our Prithvi. Varahadev lifted this entire Bhumandal. That's why when it is depicted that Varahadev with a ball-like structure, that is not the right depiction. Varahadev lifted this entire Bhumandal out of Garbhodak ocean. That is described. Okay. So this is the another vertical section of the universe. तो हम लोग ये डिटेल में चर्चा करेंगे. अभी बस आपको बता रहा हूँ कि क्या है. So that what Priyavrat did, Priyavrat Maharaj, what he did. So this is the section of the universe, Bhumandal, and Bhumandal is not a flat structure. It is like a small pyramid. As you can see, it is a small pyramid structure, and in the center of this pyramid is a mountain which is called as Sumeru mountain. It is made up of solid gold. It is a golden mountain. Okay, so now Brahmaji, Lord is lying in the ocean, and from the navel, this stem of lotus comes, and this is the leaf of that lotus flower. And then this is the stem, and this is Brahmaji's abode. So now what Brahmaji did, he has to use some ingredients. Now, kahan se banayenge ye universe? So he used the ingredients of this lotus only to create the 14 planetary systems. So this leaf became the Bhumandal. And the upper planetary systems are created by the elements of this stem of the lotus flower. So that is how this entire Bhumandal is created. Now, just to zoom in, this is the entire Bhumandal, which is divided into 7 islands and 7 oceans. So as you can see, we'll see in more detail in some time. Okay. So in this Bhumandal, the centermost area, centermost place is called as Jambu Dweepa. Sorry. Okay. I just wanted to show. ठीक है, इसमें देख लीजिए. This is entire Bhumandal. This is one half of the Bhumandal, and the center portion is called as Jambu Dweepa, where we are staying. Jambu Dweepa is surrounded by a salt ocean. After that, there is another Dweepa which is named differently. So the center of this island is a mountain which is called as Mount Meru. So this part is depicted here. This is the Jambu Dweepa. This is the centermost portion of entire Bhumandal. And where are we now? Prithvi kahan pe hai? Prithvi is there on the southernmost portion of this Jambu Dweepa. There is a Varsha which is called as Bharat Varsha. In Bharat Varsha, there is 9th division which is called as Bharat Khanda. Jambu Dweepe, Bharat Varshe, Bharat Khande. So this Prithvi is called as Bharat Khanda.
The entire Prithvi is called Bharat.
हमारी जो पृथ्वी है उसको भारत खंड, which is a part of Bharat Varsha,
Okay.
which is a part of Jambu Dweepa. So now this is the center of Jambu Dweepa, which has this Mount Sumeru. कितना बड़ा माउंटेन है?
Mount Meru and Sumeru both
एक
are
ही
same.
एक ही. So कितना बड़ा माउंटेन है ये? This is 100 yojans big.
Oh.
1 yojan is 8 miles. Out of this 100 yojan, 84,000 yojan is above the surface of Bhumandal, and remaining 16,000 is below the surface. अंदर foundation होना चाहिए ना? Foundation is 16,000 yojan, and the height is 84,000. We'll discuss all this. So I'll just come to what
Shape is unique. It is like
it is inverted cone.
Inverted cone.
So what Priyavrat did. So what happens is sun revolves around Sumeru mountain on the top of Loka mountain. लोका माउंटेन, द लास्ट,
boundaries.
उसके टॉप पे, सॉरी नॉट ऑन द टॉप ऑफ लोका, एक दूसरा माउंटेन है, उसके टॉप पे सन ट्रेवल्स, एंड इफ द सन इज ऑन द वन साइड, तो दूसरे साइड पे अंधेरा हो गया. So Priyavrat was dissatisfied with this. That is the problem of big people. They are dissatisfied कि उस साइड अंधेरा क्यों हो रहा है. So he thought, I will become another sun. Why other part should be in darkness? So he became another sun. And before that, these islands were created by Priyavrat as he is revolving around this Sumeru mountain on his chariot. And what he did, he used bigger and bigger chariots. Interesting thing was his chariot had only one wheel.
Oh.
And he used bigger and bigger wheels, bigger and bigger chariots. So that's why every Dvipa is the double of the previous. If Jambu Dvipa is X, next Dvipa will be 2X. And उसके बीच में जो ocean also is X. X Dvipa, X ocean. Then 2X Dvipa, 2X ocean, 4X. So that's how this entire 7 islands and 7 oceans are created. So आज के लिए इतना ही काफी है. ज्यादा हम लोग डिस्कशन में नहीं जाएंगे. We'll continue our regular story.
He created this in the beginning itself. He got the responsibility.
Yes, in the beginning.
Beginning.
Yes, so we'll see now what Chakravarti Thakur writes. कहाँ गए हम लोग?
13.
13th नहीं,
30.
30, हाँ 30. Somebody can read the translation.
Why
We read the
so
translation, right?
30 na?
हाँ पढ़ा कि नहीं पढ़ा?
नहीं.
पढ़िए.
While so excellently ruling the universe, King Priyavrata once became dissatisfied with the circumambulation of the most powerful sun god. Encircling Sumeru hill on his chariot, the sun god illuminates all the surrounding planetary systems. However, when the sun is on the northern side of the hill, the south receives less light, and when the sun is in the south, north receives less. King Priyavrata disliked this situation and therefore decided to make daylight in the part of the universe where there was night. He followed the orbit of the sun god on a brilliant chariot and thus fulfilled his desire. He could perform such wonderful activities because of the power he had achieved by worshipping the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
So that is such powerful personality that he became the second sun. So one should not be amazed to see how could Priyavrat do this. That is the power of a great devotee. What a great devotee cannot achieve. So Shukdev Goswami describes that because later he will ask, Parikshit will ask, how can Priyavrat do this? He said, nothing is impossible for a pure devotee of the Lord. Anybody who is surrendered to the lotus feet of the Lord, he can conquer this entire universe. What to speak of this ordinary thing? So therefore, he became second son. And Chakravarti Thakur describes what Parikshit did. What Priyavrat did. He said, Priyavrat reigned at the time when the sun would shine, lighting up half the earth up to Loka mountain as daytime. Loka is the last, boundary of the universe. उसके बाद पूरा अंधेरा है. We have heard in the 10th canto when this Brahmana's son was getting disappeared. So Arjuna and Krishna, they went on Krishna's chariot and then they passed a big mountain and Krishna created a hole in that mountain. After that, they passed through a dark space. that dark spaces beyond Loka mountain, where the light of the sun doesn't reach. So that is what is described here. The light of the sun reaches only Loka mountain, क्योंकि वो तो बड़ा है बहुत. Sun कहाँ पे है? I have shown you.
Vertical section.
So as you can see in this, here is कहाँ गया sun?
This
Here is the sun.
sun.
Okay. So all these planets, they are above, and the moon is the closest. So where is this Earth? Earth is somewhere here, and that's why Prabhupada would say sun is closer to Earth than moon. Prabhupada would always say that sun is closer to Earth than moon. That is the horizontal distance.
But if you see in geography, they say all the planets revolve around the sun.
Correct, not Earth. So all these planets are revolving around the sun, right? They are not revolving around the sun. They are revolving around the Sumeru mountain with Dhruva Loka as the center pole. You can see Dhruva? यहाँ पे Dhruva Loka है?
Yeah.
So all the planets, they keep Dhruva Loka in the center and they revolve around Dhruva Loka, all the planets. And the sun also revolves around this planet, Dhruva Loka. Okay. And the center is Mount Meru. So Dhruva Loka is exactly the center of the Bhumandal.
Probably they have given Mercury, Mars, Venus.
They are planets.
Yeah, where is Earth?
अर्थ बताया ना आपको, अर्थ इधर है, ये पूरा भूमंडल ही अर्थ है. समझ रहे हैं? इसमें अर्थ नहीं है. It is not shown there because Earth is a very small projection above भूमंडल. I'll show you. अभी इसमें आगे दिखाना पड़ेगा आपको. इधर गया. हाँ जी.
You mentioned ना
भारतवर्ष, उसका थोड़ा पिक्टोरियल प्रेजेंटेशन है. वो कहाँ पे है? हाँ, ये आ गया. ये देखिए. ओके, ठीक है. ये दिस इज जम्बूद्वीप. जम्बूद्वीप का सदर्न मोस्ट पोर्शन इज भारतवर्ष, है ना? भारतवर्ष. एंड भारतवर्ष का सदर्न मोस्ट पोर्शन इज भारतखंड.
The Bharatkhanda is the entire Earth, what we read.
Yeah. So now one thing is not clear in cosmology. How this Earth is connected to Bhumandal. Because we don't see any connection. On Earth, there is no connection to Bhumandal, right? But still, the Earth is a part of Bhumandal. So how it happens, this is mysterious thing. Some people, some sages, they say that there is some connection on the Arctic regions, Antarctic regions with the Bhumandal. It is an ice column. Therefore, the planes do not cross that area. So some things we will never be able to understand. This is all revealed knowledge. Now I'll show you another slide. According to another great saint of the south, he is called as Vadiraj Tirtha. सुना आप लोगों ने?
Yes.
So Vadiraj Tirtha, he was the one. These slides are made by Pavneshwar Prabhu. I'm just copying it. So Vadiraj Tirtha, he has written an entire book called as Bhugol Varnanam, based on whatever is revealed to him. As he has been revealed this universe, he has put this here. And his description is exactly matching the description of Bhagavatam. Somewhere it is not matching. Some things are a little different. So we have seen all this. Share कौन सा slide हो रहा है? Sorry, I'm not sure. So now the question is, all these things are there. Why we can't see any of these things described? Why we can't see Bhumandal, all these 7 oceans and 7 islands? Because these things are not perceivable by human beings. This power is not given to us. We will never be able to perceive. The human beings in Bharatvarsha, they are the weakest people with the least powers. All the other Varshas of Bhumandal, they are actually called as Bhauma Swarga. There is a heavenly Swarga, there is a Bhauma Swarga, there is Bil Swarga also. Bil Swarga क्या होता है? All the lower planetary systems, they are much more opulent than even heaven. They are really opulent. नीचे के लोकों में कुछ भी प्रॉब्लम नहीं है. ओनली हेल में प्रॉब्लम है. हेल कहाँ पे? पाताल के नीचे है. वो बात में सॉरी, अब इतना जल्दी आपको सब कुछ करूंगा तो एकदम ज्यादा हो जाएगा. धीरे धीरे जाएंगे, धीरे धीरे. So all these things are not perceivable by human beings. So we will never be able to see them by our eyes.
So their dimensions are different.
Their dimensions are different. Our seeing power is limited. The element is different. When it is said that this Sumeru is made up of gold, that gold is not the gold which we experience. That is a different gold. So that's how this.
Something like a rat cannot understand how.
Yes. Okay, so now there are some terms we'll see. ये terms बहुत बार आएंगे अभी. द्वीप क्या होता है, वर्ष क्या होता है? We see dweepas and we see varsha. What is dweepa? Dweep is that which contains water on both the sides. Dweepa. Pa means to drink. That which drinks water from both sides. That means which is surrounded by water on both sides. उसको बोलते हैं द्वीप. Varsha. What is Varsha? We are Jambu Dweepe, Bharat Varsha. There are 9 Varshas. What is Varsha? Varsha is a valley between 2 mountains. So we'll see in this Jambu Dweepa, there are many, many mountains which divide this entire Jambu Dweepa into Varsha. Alag-alag mountain, we'll see that. And then Yojan, that is 8 miles. And this 1 million yojan, it will be used many times. 1 million yojans. Okay. So now we'll see, this is थोड़ा सा और टेक्निकल चीजें हैं. Lunar month, solar month, we all know. Uttarayan, Dakshinayan. That is movement of the sun. From south to north, north to south. ये north south क्या है? हम लोग तो बचपन से सुन रहे हैं ना, दक्षिणायन है, उत्तरायण है, वो क्या है? What is this movement of the sun? So we'll see, we'll not discuss today. हाँ जी? एक chapter है वो.
In our previous exam ना, माउथ और ये सब उसको नॉर्थ गेट्स 9 गेट्स,
हाँ.
वो नॉर्थ में समझा नहीं एक्चुअली, वो ऐसे याद किया लेकिन वो नॉर्थ विथ रिस्पेक्ट टू व्हाट?
North with respect to the sun.
Okay.
मतलब उसमें
East side gates and west side gates.
Center and the north is 1 year and south is 1 year.
Right is I think south ना.
I'm not remembering exactly north south क्या है, but it refers to the direction of the sun basically. East मतलब direction में जहाँ पे sun है. So वो है, वैसा कुछ तो है. I'm not remembering exactly that. Okay, so then ये तो मालूम है सबको हमको. ब्रह्मा जी का एक कल्प क्या होता है, डे क्या होता है, day and night, then calculation of time, all these things we know. Okay, now this is also interesting thing. We know that in one day of Brahma there are how many manus?
14 manus.
14 manus. And there are 15 sandhya. Every manvantara is separated by other manvantara by a small period of time. That is 1/12 of the entire manvantara. Okay. So these are some other details of how many manvantars are there, how many sandhyas are there. Similarly, after every yuga change also, after chatur yugas also, there is little bit of sandhya. अभी ये कौन सा चल रहा है? ये संध्या चल रहा है कलयुग का. This is sandhya of Kali-yuga. Actual Kali-yuga is not started yet. That's why we are able to practice bhakti properly. Actual Kali-yuga will not be able to practice any rules and regulations. And it will be described in 11th canto in great detail that in Sandhya, the religious purposes, religious practices are at the peak. And that is because it is influenced by the previous age more.
Okay.
So that's why now we are able to practice this bhakti properly. So after this Sandhya is gone, then it will be difficult.
This
How
will be
many
the
years
10,000 years what
10,000 years.
I think it is 1/16 or 1/12. 1/16 of that every yuga is Sandhya. तो अभी 1/16 शुरू में 1/16 एंड में इसमें कहाँ पे लिखा होगा शायद. Sandhya is 1.728 million years. That is मनवंतर का संध्या. हाँ नीचे का भी है ना संध्या. हाँ तो अभी वो उसका कितना ये यहाँ पे है ना, ये नीचे यहाँ पे संध्या 5120 मतलब अभी हम यहाँ पे 5120 after this Kali Yuga started. So actual Sandhya, I think I'm not remembering exactly. It is either 1/12 or 1/16 of every age. ठीक है. Okay. हाँ. Okay, so this is Thanam. Okay, so this is what we have heard now. This will come in the 16th chapter. In Bhumandala, there are 7 oceans created by the 7 ditches made by Priyavrat's chariot. So every time Priyavrat, he moved around this Sumeru mountain on a bigger and bigger chariot. So the wheels were creating bigger and bigger ditches. So this ocean is the ditch which is created by the wheel of Priyavrat's chariot. कितना बड़ा chariot बनाया होगा. My dear king, there is no limit to the expansion of the Supreme Lord's energy. Okay. No one could possibly explain it perfectly even in the life of Brahma. We can never understand what is this universe all about. If somebody tries to make this universe design by studying Bhagavatam, it is like trying to make the map of the world by studying the movements of Prabhupada. Prabhupada कहाँ गए 14 बार ट्रैवल किए मालूम है. I'll make the world map according to movements of Prabhupada. हो सकता है. So Bhagavatam gives a very little information about the cosmology. That little is also too much for us.
So we won't have any tests in this.
टेस्ट होगा ना.
टेस्ट तो होगा ही.
जितना भागवतम है उतना ही टेस्ट लेंगे, ज्यादा नहीं लेंगे. See, it is not so difficult. नहीं, what is difficult is
बहुत difficult हो गया. Of late.
What is difficult is, which I am also not able to understand, is the vertical dimension of the universe. You know, all the क्या बोलते हैं, the astrological signs and वो chart का क्या रहता है और वो different वो क्या बोलते हैं उसको zodiac signs, तो वो सब भी है उसमें. So how the sun moves in every, उसमें बहुत सारा physics भी आ जाता है, relative motion, relativity, because the sun is moving around the Sumeru and it falls by some minutes every चक्र. थोड़ा मिनट कम पड़ जाता है, तो धीरे धीरे इसलिए सब मूवमेंट में ये होता है दक्षिणायन उत्तरायण, और फिर ऊपर जाता है सन, फिर नीचे जाता है सन, वो बहुत सारा कॉम्प्लिकेटेड है. तो उस पर मैं टेस्ट नहीं लूंगा क्योंकि मुझे ही नहीं समझा तो मैं टेस्ट कैसे लूंगा.
अब दूसरे को बोलेगी क्या नाम है उनका.
हाँ, वो पावनेश्वर प्रभु समझा देंगे आपको,
हम लोग को समझ में नहीं
और
आया.
समझाएंगे तो आपको लगेगा समझ गया,
बाद में भूल
लेकिन एग्जाम देने के टाइम पता चलेगा कि कुछ नहीं समझा. एनीवेज, ओके यहाँ पे थोड़ा कम बैक. Okay. So Priyavrat, what he did, he divided the Bhumandal into 7 islands and 7 oceans. So the question is the sun stationary or moving?
And this always moving.
Sun is always moving. But according to modern science, sun is stationary. But that is not the case. Sun moves. Sun moves around the Meru mountain in his orbit.
Yeah, according to the modern science, the sun is stationary and
Yeah,
all the
no,
planets are
actually,
moving.
according to modern science, sun is also moving.
It revolves on its own on.
Yeah, it is
Moves along.
some other, see, like it's a relative. Like our Earth, according to modern science, Earth is rotating around.
There is
sun.
a geocentric model and heliocentric model.
And sun is also rotating about some other star.
So, see, science will never be able to explain perfectly
Okay.
because all these things are beyond the perception of
Correct.
human intelligence. Okay, so this is what we heard. Priyavrat ruled for 11 Arbuda years. And he divided the Bhumandal into 7 dvipas and 7 oceans. So, how he divided? So, this is what we discussed here. His wheels created the troughs. As he was not satisfied with the movement of the sun, he became another sun. As sun is this is the Sumeru mountain. Sun is here. So he started moving in a chariot on the other side. And
He followed the sun.
Followed completely in the opposite, diametrically opposite direction. And he started moving in bigger and bigger chariots. That's why his wheels started creating impressions on the Bhumandal. Okay. So he started moving in chariot with one wheel, and in 1 year, he moved for 1 year. And in this 1 year, he moved in 7 circles. And for how long he moved, Chakravarti Thakur writes all the detail, बहुत technical description है. वो मैं नहीं जाऊंगा उसमें. He moved in 7 circles.
Okay.
And that's how he created bigger and bigger impressions. Every time he used a bigger chariot. Each one was twice the size of the previous one. Itna samajh gaya? Any confusions? So therefore, what was produced is each island is twice the previous one. Abhi samajh gaya? Any confusions? Yeah, simple. And ocean and the island is of the same size. If Jambu Dvipa is this much. So half of that is the ocean of the surrounding Jambu Dvipa. Then big double is the next Dvipa, and that same dimension is the ocean also. So that is described. Okay, तो ये इन्होंने कुछ तो बहुत सारा टेक्निकल चीजें दी हैं, वो मेरे पल्ले नहीं पड़ता है. 7 chariots, 1 year divided by 7. So that's how he moved in 7 circles in 1 year. तो वो कितना मूव किए, कैसे मूव किए, कहां से कहां तक गए, वो सब ये डिस्क्रिप्शन.
360 days, 2 पार्ट में डिवाइड किया. 180.
हाँ.
एक मतलब पहला ट्रैवल एंड रिटर्न ट्रैवल.
बराबर.
तो ऐसे 180 days का उन्होंने 25.7.
प्रभु जी समझ गए हैं. हमको समझ गया कि आपको समझ गया. सो ये जो है कर्क संक्रांति से पौष तक ऐसा कुछ तो उन्होंने हाफ इधर गए हैं, फिर हाफ इधर आए. So that's how it is. Okay, I'll not go into the detail of this. Okay, so what he created? He created 7 oceans and 7 islands. The center one is called as, what's that? Jambu Dvipa, not Bharatvarsha. Bharatvarsha is a part of Jambu Dvipa. Okay. फिर उसके बाद में एक ओशन है जो ब्लू दिख रहा है. That is salt water ocean. उसके बाद एक दूसरा द्वीप क्रिएट हुआ. That is Shalmali. After that, there is another ocean, that is Liquor Ocean. Then another Dvipa, that is Kushal. What is Dvipa?
Both sides is the water.
And what is Varsha?
Varsha is the valley between 2 mountains.
So Kushal. See, this is not the exact diagrammatical, dimensional wise नहीं है, just a pictorial presentation है. क्योंकि इसका डबल ये है, तो इसका डबल दिखाने के लिए ये इतना साइज नहीं है, इसलिए दिखाया हुआ है थोड़ा सा. So around Kushal Dweep is another ocean of मक्खन, घी का ओशन है, घी। देन क्रौंच, उसके बाद ये जो क्षीर सागर है ना, जो मंथन हुआ था, ये वाले सागर का मंथन हुआ है। इट इज नॉट क्षीर सागर वाला जहाँ पे भगवान रहते हैं, ये जो भूमंडल पे जो क्षीर सागर है उसका मंथन हुआ है।
तो मिल्क ओशन इज द फिफ्थ साइकिल, उसके अलावा और 2 साइकिल बाकी है।
हाँ, है ना, ये यहाँ पे अनदर डिस्क्रिप्शन है। जम्बू, प्लक्ष, शालमली, कुश, क्रौंच। ओके, ठीक है। हाँ, हम लोग कहाँ पे थे?
Seven because we have finished and ocean.
7 द्वीपों पे पहुंच गए हैं हम लोग। ठीक है, और कहाँ पहुंचने हैं?
Sweet water drinking. Emulsified yogurt का भी है।
हाँ, so these are the 7 islands and 7 oceans. So every ocean and every island is double the size of the previous one. So what is this X?
The size.
This X is described in the next verse. Next slide, we'll see what is this X. हाँ, वो तो है, लेकिन what is the exact dimension? So that we'll see. So this is from the 5th canto, 1st chapter. Sharodakeshu rasoda suroda घृतोद सिरोद दधि मंडोद शुद्धोद, ये 7 ओशियंस हैं। शार means salt water ocean. Shara udaka. Then rasa uda, that is sugar cane. And ghrita, shira, that is sweet rice. Or milk basically. Shira sagar is milk ocean. Then dadhi mand, शुद्ध उदह, स्वीट वाटर। एंड वो लिकर का भी है कहीं, तो वो सुदोदा है क्या? सुरोधा, हाँ, सुरा होता, बराबर। So now this radius of the bhumandal is, so what are these, this entire bhumandal का कितना रेडियस हो गया है, ये सब कैलकुलेट किया है। हाफ x प्लस x मतलब, हाँ सॉरी, so this is like on one side of the center से one side, तो उसका डबल करेंगे तो पूरा डायमीटर हो गया ना। सो वन साइड को पूरा कैलकुलेट करके 2x प्लस 4x प्लस 16 इतना करके इंटू 2, दो साइड। हाँ, आप जैसा भी कर लीजिए कैलकुलेट।
0.5x plus x क्या है?
Sphere. We don't know the sphere है।
Yeah, it's okay.
वो भी पता नहीं।
नहीं, this one circumference how we can.
नहीं, ऐसा है ना वो।
x पहला समझ गया, ये 0.5x क्या दिया?
They have given radius, right? It's not the actual.
This bhumandal is a disc.
Of course,
it's
a disk.
This with this.
हाँ, it is a conical, थोड़ा ऐसा elevated disk.
इसमें कौन सा फॉर्मूला है? कुछ फॉर्मूला
नहीं, रेडियस तो निकाल सकते हैं ना। रेडियस ऑफ द भूमंडल वी कैन अंडरस्टैंड बाय 2 पाई r, वही है वो 2 पाई r।
और ये 2 into r, तो बड़ा
सॉरी 2 पाई r तो सर्कमफ्रेंस हो गया, ये तो डायमीटर
का है। नहीं, वो समझ गया, 2 into 2x वो किया है, लेकिन ये पहला क्या किया? 0.5x plus
0.5 मतलब हाफ है ना, रेडियस बता रहे हैं। x means the ocean which is surrounding this salt water ocean, x है, ठीक है?
वो लिखो राजा, ये फॉर्मूला भी समझ गया।
नहीं, ये जाने दीजिए, इतना टेक्निकल मत घुसिए, ये बस थोड़ा डिटेल्ड अंडरस्टैंडिंग है, ठीक है? So Priyavrata, what he did, nobody could do except the Lord. By the rim of his chariot, he made 7 oceans and destroyed the darkness of night. He arranged the situation of Bhumandal for the welfare of people, so that there were divisions and the borders for each dweepa by means of rivers, mountains, and forests. So in every dweepa, there are many mountains. Not just in Jambu Dweepa, in सब द्वीपों में अलग-अलग mountains हैं. We'll see all that. Okay. So now these are the descendants of Priyavrata we just saw. So अभी जम्बू द्वीप कैसा है? This is the innermost island and the first island of the Bhumandal.
We are basically connected with this.
जम्बू द्वीपे भारतवर्षे भारतखंडे. So this Bhumandal, it is like lotus flower compared to lotus flower. And the 7 islands, they are the 7 coverings of this lotus flower. Lotus flower, and lotus flower has some coverings also. So that is the entire 7 island. And the wall of the lotus is Jambu Dvipa. So that is depicted as a lotus flower. So all these different petals, circles, they are the different द्वीपस. लक्षद्वीपा, शाल्मली द्वीपा, क्राउंच द्वीपा, और सबसे मिडिल वाला जो है, जो ये दिख रहा है, जो ये है जम्बू द्वीप, अंदर वाला एकदम वर्ल्ड. और जो लोटस फ्लावर का जो सेंटर है ना, दैट इज एग्जैक्ट शेप ऑफ माउंट मेरू. दैट इज इन्वर्टेड कोन. दैट्स व्हाई इट इज डिस्क्राइब्ड लाइक दिस. तो ये हमने अभी देखा है. So the radius of the lotus leaf, वो हमने देखा, 0.5 million yojanas in length and breadth. लिखा नहीं, वो देखेंगे. So okay, so all this we'll see in the 16th chapter now. बस जितना basic जानना था हम समझ गए अभी. So now we don't have to go into the detail of all these things because we'll be seeing all this in detail in the 16th chapter.
Okay.
I'll tell you something very interesting. उसके लिए हम रुक जाते हैं. हाँ, ये. So there was another great saint in Sri Vaishnava Sampradaya, Tiruvenkata Ramanuja Jiyar. In 1805 to 82 he lived. And he studied Mahabharata. And Madhvacharya, he has written a commentary on on Mahabharata that is called as Mahabharata Tatparya Nirnay. In that, Madhvacharya has given some glimpses of what is this universe all about, because he is Vaibhav, he is everywhere. So he has given some description of what is this this entire Bhumandal. So that description comes in Bhishma Parva, Jambu Khanda Vinirmana Parva. This is chapter name. कहाँ पे description दिया है? तो वहां पे ये एक श्लोक आता है, सुदर्शनम प्रवक्ष्यामि द्वीपम ते कुरुनंदन परिमंडलो महाराजा द्वीपौसौ चक्र संस्थितः यथा च पुरुष पश्येत् आदर्शे मुखमात्मनः एवं सुदर्शन द्वीप दृश्यते चंद्रमंडले. So this Sudarshana Dvipa is also Jambu Dvipa. Another name of Jambu Dvipa is Sudarshana Dvipa because it is round. So Sudarshana Pravakshyami, सुदर्शन कैसा दिखता है वो डिस्क्रिप्शन आता है. यथा सुदर्शन द्वीप, sorry, not this Bhumandal, sorry, earth is called as Sudarshan, it is round. Sudarshan means it is beautiful to see. So अपना भारत, अपना ये पृथ्वी कैसा है उसका डिस्क्रिप्शन आता है महाभारत. सुदर्शनम प्रवक्ष्यामि, सुदर्शन, इट इज अ वेरी ब्यूटिफुल थिंग टू सी. किसके बारे में है? भारत खंड. भारत खंड इज आवर अर्थ. इट इज वेरी ब्यूटिफुल टू सी. कुरुनंदन, कुरुनंदन मतलब भीष्म बता रहे हैं युधिष्ठिर को. एंड it is circular, so therefore it looks like a disk from moon planet. ऊपर से देख रहे हैं, मून से देख रहे हैं ये चंद्र. परिमंडलो, and it is attached to the cyclical time in the form of a disk. Okay, so Sudarshan is Kala Chakra. परिमंडल क्या है? Sudarshana Dvipa, it is in the form of a globe. It is a disk which has all its 4 corners rounded. That means it is a sphere. That's a description. It is like a bale fruit, rounded bale fruit. Bharat Khanda is like a rounded bale fruit. Okay. So this, now Bharat Varsh कैसा है? अभी तो भारत खंड के बारे में बता दिए. This Bharat Varsha, it is full of It is full of trees covered with flowers and fruits and so many, all these things are there. Okay, as a person can see his own face in the mirror, the nature of this Sudarshan Dweep. अभी moon से if somebody is watching our पृथ्वी कैसा दिखता है ये है interesting. This one thing became the basis of our world map in the Vedic times. In the Vedic history, world map already बताया गया है. कैसा दिखता है world map? ऊपर से देखा तो द्वीर अंशे पिप्पलस तत्र. Half of this Bharatvarsha appears like a pippala, small people leaf. And द्वीर अंशे च सशो महान. Sasha means rabbit. It's a big rabbit. And sarvaushadhi samavapai sarvata paribrahmitai. And they are all surrounded by vegetation. तो एक साइड पे छोटा पीपल लीफ है, दूसरे साइड पे बड़ा पीपल लीफ है. So based on this personality, क्या नाम बताया उनका? हमने तिरुवेंकट रामानुजययर. Based on this, he created a map. ऊपर वाला क्या है वो? सशो महान on one side, उसके इधर छोटा पीपल और इधर दो बड़े पीपल. यार ये कैसा मैप है? ये कैसा मैप है? उल्टा है ना, मिरर रिफ्लेक्शन है, वो मून से देख रहे हैं तो उसको मिरर है, मिरर रिफ्लेक्शन हो गया तो अपना वर्ल्ड मैप है. So that is how this personality he found world map in Mahabharata. So that is how it is. So another depiction, world map or map. So these are some of the things which are mentioned in our Vedic scriptures. So it really amazes people कि क्या बात है वहाँ.
फिजिक्स में जम्बू द्वीप है, उसके बाद क्या?
भारत वर्षे,
भारत खंडे,
ये भारत
ये खंड है ना, हमने पृथ्वी इस खंड.
खंड का मैप है.
भारत खंड is also called as Sudarshan Dweep. ये द्वीप है अपना. पृथ्वी is also a द्वीप. It is surrounded by a water.
Yes.
Which has 4 corners rounded. अभी प्रॉब्लम क्या है, ये राउंडेड जो स्ट्रक्चर है वो भूमंडल को कैसे अटैच्ड है वो नहीं पता. That is a mystery. And why we are not able to see all this? पता नहीं. Another question is, वो राम जी ने जो सेतु बनाया वो बनाया किधर? एक और अच्छा आपको इंटरेस्टिंग इंफॉर्मेशन बताऊं.
सेतु तो he made between India and Sri Lanka.
मैं बताऊं अच्छा.
But this map they say is in Bharat Varsha, na?
हाँ, भारतवर्ष मीन्स पृथ्वी माता जी, पृथ्वी. It is Bharatvarsha is not our India.
That's what I was thinking. So far it's India.
But I thought Bharat Khand is the earth and not Bharat Varsha.
Bharatvarsha is the bigger. हाँ ये देखिए इसमें देखिए. सॉरी. अब ये देखिए, ये जो पूरा है ना, ये मिडिल वाला जम्बूद्वीप है. ओके, ठीक है. जम्बूद्वीप दिख रहा है ना आपको? फोटो दिख रहा है? जम्बूद्वीप इज डिवाइडेड इनटू 9 वर्ष. वर्ष क्या होता है? अगेन वैली बिटवीन 2 माउंटेन्स. तो यहाँ पे इतने सारे माउंटेन दिख रहे हैं आपको. श्रृंगवान माउंटेन, श्वेत माउंटेन, नील माउंटेन, मलयवान माउंटेन, गंधमादन. गंधमादन माउंटेन सुना है? क्या था गंधमादन में? हाँ. और हनुमान जी कहाँ से कूदे थे? गंधमादन. तो गंधमादन किधर है? किधर है? मेरे को मत पूछेगा डिटेल कैसा हुआ वहां पे. यहाँ पे निषाद माउंटेन, हेमकूट माउंटेन, हिमालय माउंटेन. ओके, नाउ this Himalaya mountain is the mountain where Badrinath is there, where Vyasdev stays. He doesn't stay in our Himalaya. दो आदि बद्री है, बद्रीनाथ है, केदारनाथ है, यहाँ पे व्यासदेव नहीं रहते हैं. व्यासदेव रहते हैं ये वाले हिमालय में. ठीक है. So all these things are there for our benefit, so that just by going to these places we can get the benefit of going to Adi Badri. because we cannot access, हम लोग जा ही नहीं सकते, यहाँ से कूदेंगे कैसे? तो भीम जो कूद के गए ना, भीम went, Madhvacharya went, he jumped from our Himalayas to greater Himalayas. यहाँ पे चले गए. So that's why all these things are inaccessible for human beings. Okay, so this place is called as Bharatvarsha, the southernmost portion of Jambudvipa. वो नॉर्थ साउथ ईस्ट वेस्ट क्या है वो भी हम लोग डिस्कस करेंगे. सदन सदन हम बोल रहे हैं, सदन किसके रेफरेंस में है वो बाद में आएगा. सो ये पूरा भारतवर्ष है. भारतवर्ष का जो सदन पोर्शन है दैट इज भारत खंड. भारत खंड इज पृथ्वी which is a rounded structure like a bale fruit. अब ये राउंडेड स्ट्रक्चर भूमंडल को अटैच कैसे है, that is a mystery that nobody knows. Okay.
So Prabhuji, you said that another mystery is how Lord Ram constructed the temple. What is that?
That is another mystery because
I thought it's very simple.
no, it is not simple. Because where is Sri Lanka?
That is the question. If Hanumanji left from somewhere in Bhumandal and not from Bharat Khanda, so then where is Sri Lanka?
Where I'll show you where is Sri Lanka.
Then this one he sent the 4 search parties, na?
वो पूरा भूमंडल भेजा है उन्होंने.
अच्छा, it's not like confined to only that.
Not in India, not Prithvi. He sent his forces in entire भूमंडल. पूरा भूमंडल के एंड तक चले गए वो लोग. उसके बाद गिर जाओगे, उधर ही नहीं कुछ, खत्म हो गया भूमंडल ना, उधर तक भेजा है. बताता हूँ आपको कहाँ है अपना नहीं, श्रीलंका की तरफ. वो भी इंटरेस्टिंग है, उसका भी आपको बताता हूँ स्टोरी.
So I think one thing is after we know this cosmology, we know we are so insignificantly insignificant.
Fortunate in a place where we would locate somewhere.
अबे हम लोग कोरिलेट नहीं कर रहे, नॉलेज से हम लोग कोरिलेट नहीं कर रहे.
Yeah, so far I was thinking Bharatavarsha means by India.
Bharatvarsha means the lowest part of Jambudvipa.
I was thinking.
Bharat Khanda means the one.
But Prabhuji, here they have said that like the map that is of a rabbit and of 3 people leaves, they have said that is in Bharat Varsha. They have not said
that
it's
is
in
no,
Bharat
that is Bharat Khanda. That is Bharat Khanda, not Bharat Varsha.
Oh, that's it. Because it was written Bharat Varsha, so I got confused.
Bharat Varsha, it was written Bharat Varsha. In Bharat Varsha, there was a Sudarshan Dvipa. That is Bharat Khanda. Okay.
Oh, I got confused. Okay, thank you, Prabhuji.
I'm just trying to search that picture अच्छा बनाया है devotee ने. हाँ, मिल गया.
Cosmos studies.
Okay, तो ये देखिए, अभी इसका मैं बैकग्राउंड बताता हूँ. So we all know Bhagirath.
Yes.
तो भगीरथ के ancestors कौन थे? सगर महाराज के कितने पुत्र थे? बहुत सारे, 60,000, right?
100,000.
So the 60,000. So the okay, इनको भी दिखा. भाई का टाइम हो चुका है. नहीं, Zoom का तो है टाइम 10 मिनट और. Okay, so what happened? Sagar Maharaj, he did a yajna, Ashwamedh yajna. His horse was lost. He sent his 60,000 sons. So they dug up the universe, dug up the entire Bhumandal to find out. तो जो मिट्टी निकली वो किधर गई? भूमंडल को खोदा ना. भूमंडल
वो पूरा
अभी अपनी छोटी से इससे बाहर निकलना है. हमारा पृथ्वी के अलावा ये लोग सब बड़े बड़े लोगों पे काम करते हैं. Entire disk. And this Sagar was ruling Jambudvipa. Jambudvip को रूल कर रहे हैं. So his 60,000 sons started digging the earth. तो मिट्टी कहाँ गई? they started throwing all the dirt in the ocean in different directions. So that's how they created 8 islands. So as you can see now in this, you will see one is Sri Lanka. ठीक है, यहाँ पे लंका लग रहा है। अच्छा, ये अपने कालिया कहाँ रहते हैं? पीजी में नहीं रहते। Sorry, Prabhupada said that. But he stays in Ramanaka Island, right? Ramana. Where is Ramanaka Island? It is one of the islands which is created around Jambudvipa. So Fiji में भी रहते होंगे, प्रभुपाद बोल रहे हैं तो रहते होंगे. But Ramanaka Island is surrounding Jambudvipa. Okay. So now the question is.
This is Kalinath stays there, Prabhuji.
हाँ, कालिया stays. So भारत खंड तो इधर है और श्रीलंका इधर है और भारत खंड तो अबव द ओशन है. तो ब्रिज कहाँ से बनाया? What is the connection between Lanka and this? So all these things are beyond human comprehension. So जो हम लोग बोलते हैं ना कि हमको सेतु अभी भी दिखता है. First of all, Lord Ram came in which Yuga cycle?
24th Yuga cycle. 24th.
Came in 24th Yuga Chakra. अभी 27th चल रहा है. ये स्टोरी हम पढ़ते हैं रामायण, that is 24th युग चक्र की त्रेता युग की रामायण है. परशुराम appeared in 18 युग चक्र. वामन देव ऐसे मतलब अलग-अलग अवतार हैं. So all these things are beyond human comprehension. तो just दूर से प्रणाम, जितना समझता है समझ लीजिए. आगे कुछ some things are. See, all these things we can't even tell to the outside people because they say, "यार ये तो हम बता रहे हैं कि हमको समुद्र सेतु दिख रहा है, पर आप बोल रहे हो कि ये लंका ही नहीं है."
We cannot contradict them because they will show
So at least they are showing some faith. So all these things are created so that we can develop, we can put faith, we can go to Badrinath, Kedarnath, वहाँ पे जाकर वही हमको लाभ मिलेगा जो आदि बद्री जाकर मिलता है. वहाँ पे जा नहीं सकते हैं. तो यहाँ पे भगवान ने बनाया है, तो एटलीस्ट रेप्लिका पे जाइए.
जैसे हम ऐसा एग्जांपल दे सकते हैं. We have Vrindavan and Govan.
वैसे ही ये सब ठीक है. तो अभी हम आज की कथा को विराम देते हैं. Any questions?
question.
अभी क्या क्वेश्चन है? अभी तो समझ गया ना इतना सारा.
I didn't know that Lanka means I was thinking that Chota.
We also, everybody thinks like this only, but this comes in one of the chapters. The islands around Jambudvipa में यहाँ पे description आता है कौन कौन से islands हैं around Jambudvipa. इसमें स्वर्ण प्रस्थ है, चंद्र शुक्ल, आवर्तन, रमणक, मंदर हरिणा, पांचजन्य, सिंहल और लंका. ये 8 islands हैं around.
Jambudvipa is the smallest one.
Center
one,
middle one.
एकदम मिडिल सबसे छोटा. बाकी बड़े-बड़े का हम मालूम नहीं उसके बाद.
वो भी हम सब देखेंगे. सब इसके डिटेल में है बहुत सारा कुछ. शंकर जी
Prabhuji, Priyavrat only went. Sorry, continue.
शंकर जी कहाँ रहते हैं? शंकर जी doesn't stay in our कैलाश. कैलाश माउंटेन में एक हिमालय में भी है और एक जम्बूद्वीप का जो सेंटर है, यहाँ पे जो सेंटर है, this is center of Jambudvipa. This is called as Ilavrat Varsha. Okay. This is the place where Lord Shiva and Mother Parvati stays. आपको मालूम है स्टोरी वो सुदिम्ना became ईला? सुनिए आपने? वो यहाँ पे पहुंच गए थे वो, तो इसलिए वो फीमेल बन गए. So all these things are there. Okay. So all these things we'll discuss in
Prabhuji,
detail.
just one question. Yeah. Just one confusion, Prabhuji. So Priyavrat only for 1 year only he went around. For only 1 year he went around. After that he stopped.
Yes. After that he stopped.
Okay. So why did he stop? I mean, obviously the sun he's not been able to change the sun. So he stopped after 1 year.
Yeah, he stopped. I don't know. The reason is not given. But in the course of his movements, he definitely created 7 islands and 7 oceans. Okay,
Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Okay, so we'll stop here. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna, Shri Prabhupada ki jai, Srimad Bhagvatam ki jai.
Jai, Jai,
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Prabhuji.
Krishna. Dandavat pranam.
Thank you.
Meeting end.
Hari Bhakta